the Pledge of Allegiance and moment of silence afterwards. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thanks everyone. Okay, approval of the agenda, additions. Mariano might be coming tonight to present his bill. Cause we owe him for all the labor of everything. So, just put it there. He's not too good with times,
Okay,
so.
so whenever he comes, we'll fit him in?
Yeah, so, anybody else with anything else? If not, somebody approve the agenda?
I'll motion to approve.
Someone in a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. Okay, we, open the Truth and Taxation hearing meeting. Floor is open to residents for questions, comments, concern. We propose a 2% tax increase for the city of Good Thunder, right? That's, we're all in agreement, 2%, right?
Yeah, I think
I
so.
think that's where it ended up.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing we do is go down.
Yeah. I mean, we talked at 5 at the beginning, didn't we? Or it wasn't?
No,
2.5.
2.5.
Yeah.
I think 3 was the largest we
Right.
entertained, I think.
And of course, inflation went up 8% already now.
Yeah. So, like I say, Jason is home babysitting because his girlfriend had some surgery, so he wanted to find his and bring it too, but nobody can answer this. His portion of the city went up like $330–40. And like, my county went from $890 for 21 to $792. And my city went from $25.71 last year, or this year, to $28.02 for next year. And, like Tom says, the school went down a little bit. It was $671 for voter approved, now it's $582, and $489 and $416. So why would that fluctuate? That's why
Yeah, I
would
don't
this-
know.
None of
why
it
would
makes
schools
sense.
fluctuate?
You think that would be locked in because they
Yeah.
spent the money, or if they know the budget's going down, maybe they're gonna pay some towards principal and that lowers it a little bit? I don't know.
Well, they already would have had a bond for that building, right?
Yep.
So
Unless they,
if they got a $60 million building bond, how can that go down? I mean, did they not use it all? But it ain't even done yet.
wonder if we added some households to it that spread their tax base out. New houses in Mapleton, maybe
Well,
some empty houses
Yeah,
got
that
filled,
could be a possibility.
you know?
That could maybe be for that. That makes a
for the
little
school,
sense.
spread out
But
the
not for our
burden.
city.
No.
That makes no sense to me at all.
No, so I mean,
Did yours go up or down?
It did the same thing that he's talking about. My school went way down. My city went up like by 5 or 6%. And my neighbor even said, "Did you guys raise like taxes 7%?" I'm like, "No." Then how can our city portion go up so much? I'm like, I have no idea.
what was that portion of the cities was gonna go up? I'm drawing a blank.
Last year?
No, what we were gonna, what we'll certify tonight.
Oh, the amount?
I don't know.
Like the amount of the budget? So
2.5%. Right?
2, I thought it was
2,
2% we're
we
going
were
up.
gonna go up to 2, but what was that number we certified?
I think
You know,
it's in
that
here.
We turn into the county, like say 185,000 or whatever. Does anybody have that on?
Oh, I don't know what
Right
here.
here.
I thought I read it.
366,849. That's the levy.
That's a levy, and then
I
one
don't know what
is,
it was last year though.
there's 2 on that line item, right?
No, there's just one, because we don't have any special assessments.
Oh, that's right, they're all gone.
If I remember correctly, it was like,
But that's our total budget, right?
No, that's the levy. That's our budget minus local government aid and all the stuff that's taken out of it. This is the only thing that we don't have any other way of getting revenue for, okay? This is what we gotta tax the community for. It's 366,849. That's what we have to tax the community for, because there's nothing else, nowhere else does the money come from. Our total budget is like $600,000, but that's water and sewer included, okay? So all the water income takes out of there, all the sewer income takes that number down. Local government aid takes that number down, and whatever else. we put in
LGA
there.
or whatever that one
Yeah,
is.
yeah. And then this is what's left. This is what's supposed to be left anyway, at 366,849.
I feel like it.
So 2% of that would be what? So then last year
12,000?
would have been 2% less than that, right?
If 2% was the number, was it 2%? Okay.
So,
So it'd be,
well, like you say, what, 366 times, that'd be 7,200 and some odd dollars. right?
73.
Right?
7,330.
And
Six.
$300.
Yep.
So our actual cost for the city went up $7,300.
Or does it go up on the
Yeah.
600,000?
that's probably not true, because we raised the budget 2%. We raised that $600,000
The-
budget.
The cost of running the
So
city.
then that's
went
like
up.
12,000, I think.
Yeah, right.
And I remember thinking it was like 11 something, 11,000 something something.
Yeah.
Because our total budget last year, I think, was like 589, 9 something.
So all of our line items that we ran up and come up with that $12,000, right? That's how. we
That's
come
what
up with
should
it.
be right, that's what it should be, yes, yes.
So if we went up $12,000.
So organized.
Our general fund is 600, so it's more than that. I mean, our entire budget isn't total here, but it's about 601, 666, 7, 8, $850,000 roughly, real roughly put together. Damn, I got my coffee at home, son of a.
What?
I forgot my coffee at home. I didn't even
Oh,
drink
no.
I just had one with supper and I haven't done that in many years.
I made one to put down here. And I forgot.
You know, Tom, you don't live very far away. You can just go grab it.
800, yeah, 800, our entire total budget according to this is 850,000, about, rough number, $850,000. And see, that has that 2% increase in, so we increased everything 2%. You know what I mean? All the line items, 2%. So when you take the revenues out, I can see where it would be more in the city portion, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because
It's not taking it into account.
the thing is, we don't have the paperwork in front of us here that we can really see what the budget is. I mean, we should have the paperwork with all the line items and the revenues and all that stuff in it, you know? Because, I mean, I don't know for a fact that she, developing this budget, were the revenues increased? Or how it happened there, you know what I mean? So, because like in water fund and sewer fund, that's supposed to happen. I mean, you do increase expense, you need to increase the revenue, that's supposed to pay for it, so. Within reason, we ran into that already once, years and years ago already, where the revenue was just made up. I mean, it was just a fictitious number.
But if you go under this here, Tom, we got $359,600 of general property taxes. Local government aid is $180,000, that's the two biggest items. State aid, fire aid is $17,000, so the revenues are $591,000. But then that don't
But
have,
that includes the taxes. That includes tax revenue. can't, you gotta take that back out. You know what I mean?
Well, I was just trying to see where our two biggest contributors to us is.
Let me, see if I can.
And like you say, the water and sewer all in there. And then it
Revenue
gets it up.
guidelines. That's just for November. Ah, year to date.
Here's some, Sarah, since you, it's got increases.
Oh, here we go. Crystal.
I don't know if we made changes to that, cause that was prior to the last meeting, but that's what it was prior, and then she has another one that's just got the notes of how we increased some things where we move money around. But then we said, let's just raise the budget 2% when we were
Yeah,
working on
The
it.
instructions were to raise everything 2%, with the exception, what we had to do is look at payroll, because we agreed at 5% for the year, you know? And so that would change the line items, you know? Because you've got a line item for 2 people or whatever in all the departments at 5%, so that's gonna take more of that, so it's.
Sure.
The increase per line item here, that was the instruction, was to get that all worked out, so that we would kinda see where we were at. What is, yeah, this is just one. Well, this is just basically, okay, so I wonder what, so I guess we can figure that out probably by looking at it here. Oh, no, it's all the same. Well, that one.
I wonder if it's right at the end of them.
This is revenue. Special assessments. Yeah, this is revenues here.
This one's higher, it's 1.2.
Yeah, this
She's
is-
got
this
some
is
stuff written down
revenue.
here, I don't know
So,
if this is what she did, or if this is what she was
The 21 budget.
proposing,
Mhm.
cause it's all too clean.
Legal services. Well, she wrote down, that was very soft.
They were all just sitting right there, so I thought I'd see.
And like you say, this was done on the 9th of November.
That might have been printed prior for us, and that was just left over on her desk in case anybody wanted it.
Yeah. So.
Does that tell you then what last year's was and what we're proposing? Does it come up to that $12,000 then?
I don't know that answer. I don't think so. Well, maybe. Total expenses for 21, year to date, when this was made, was 708. The budget was 810, and the new budget for 22 was 917 on this worksheet. So, where does that put us at?
802, you said, and 9,
Yeah, from 810 to 917, that would be a 10% increase, right?
810 to 9, that'd be $7,000. 810,
917. That's $100,000. It's $103,000 applied to 810. So that's like a,
107, right? Or 917, didn't you say?
yeah, 917.
And take away 810,
Yeah,
107.
It's like a
$107,000.
7.5% increase.
is that what that is?
Yeah.
So $107,000, that's
Good
what we're
messenger.
going up this year?
but like Sarah's explaining that this is an early worksheet. I don't know what that was figured at. Was that figured at 5? I can see that coming out to being that much.
Take 5% off of that, well, that'd be 50,
I mean, the raise is 7.5%, but I mean, if you took 5% on all the line items, I can see how that could end up being at 7%, you know what I'm saying?
I could message her and ask her if she has a printout somewhere, or if she can,
I mean, I don't know.
what we've already sent to the county is in at 2%, right?
It must be, yeah, 2%, that's what everybody remembers. I don't.
or should we just call her?
I believe it's 2%.
Well, yeah, it says floor is open, 2% tax increase is proposed.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what it says here in our agenda. So,
Is that the same number you were looking at? 810 and 708? That's the same number you were looking at?
Yep.
Because that was the 2021 budget, but the actual amount, so it was 102,000 less.
Yeah.
High.
Yep.
So the budget was 810, the actual 708.
Oh, yeah, right, you're right.
Yeah, budget was 810, actual
Yeah.
year-to-date 708.
222.
We still have 102,000 to spend in the budget from last year yet, so it's not going up. We haven't spent it all yet.
so
Well, mine's got the budget and I'm.
Yeah, this might be,
Added up.
this was the pre-work one that has those in it.
So, yeah, that's where I got the 917.
Okay.
The 917 is the total 22 budget on this worksheet, but I don't think that's correct. I think this is high.
is Jim's later version? or-
No, it was the one they're working up off of our comments of raising and lowering. This is like the,
Yeah, you were following along kind of like.
Right.
Yeah.
So getting back to our total budget of what was it gonna be?
Well, our total budget is,
Not 917, right?
no,
It was at 8,
yes, it is at 917, but it's actually less than that though, because these are high numbers. It's less, it's something under that.
so if we took Jim's 102,000.
Let's do, what's 2% on top of 810,000.
2%,
Eight,
that'd be 16,000 and some odd dollars, right?
Times 1.02%,
Yep.
it'd be 826,000.
That should be about where our budget is for 22. 820, roughly, 826, 830. I mean, if this is all copacetic.
What did you say it was?
826, 200.
826, 200?
I know we looked at it last time, just to compare last year's levy and this year's levy. She brought out last year's, and it was in that, the number we came up with was in that 2% above range, I mean, within change.
Yeah.
And last year's was the 810.
Last year.
2021 budget was 810.46.
810, okay.
This year's is that 826 or.
826,
Whatever.
200.
So $16,000.
Yeah,
Okay, so if you took 2% of that, 8 would be 16,000, yeah, so that's
yeah,
right on track now.
well, yes,
We hope.
yeah.
We still don't know how the county figures it out. but-
Yeah.
we can't, yeah, you can't look at your tax statement and try to understand, because Cheryl and I went down there one time.
I
with
remember
them
that.
and
Many years
asked,
ago.
And they basically said that there's different formulas for different classes of properties, and, I mean, it's weird. The one that could probably answer that question the best would be that Mike Malduck that was out here to talk about elections, because that's his gig. He's the
Okay.
tax guy. And so, you know, I mean, if somebody really wanted to get a decent explanation, you'd probably have to go sit down with him, and I don't even know if he can explain it.
I think with Ulrich, with Nathan Ulrich, his property's taxed so high because it's next and no one could tell us why. Remember that? a couple
Yeah, I
years
do
ago?
remember that.
Then Tom asked him a question, though, would you sell it for agricultural price or for home lot price? You know?
And they never come back.
No, they didn't.
Yep, because we also have everything that surrounds town that way.
Right, yeah.
Right, right.
Because the property at the lagoon, that's all annexed in too, right?
Yeah.
And that there, and then would Paul's be, Paul's isn't, because that's on the south side of the road, right? That is not,
Other than the little piece they,
yeah, that's in
for
the
the
city.
housing,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
because Peters is, that would all be in,
yeah,
annexed in, yeah.
yeah.
Well, any more comments then? And 2%, that's what we've submitted, proposed, that's where we're gonna leave it at. Do we have to make a motion
Yeah,
to leave it at that and, submit it as is, right?
yep.
Yeah. I'm really disappointed to find out that there are properties that went up that much for the city tax. I looked at mine and I thought, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there's nobody here. Anyway.
I know.
But I mean, you know, the fact is, I thought, well, all right, I think we did okay.
I don't even think I looked at mine. Didn't really matter.
It's one of those, you got paid anyways.
Mine's
doesn't-
more or less the same thing, the value went down, the taxes went up a little bit, you know, or somewhat, I mean,
Yeah.
so evidently that's pretty much what happened, you know.
I just put mine in the
Why, I
tax
don't
file.
know again,
Yeah, I
other
don't
than,
But I lost $18,000 in value.
I know.
Ours did the same thing.
I
Our
do
value
too.
went down.
$18,000 in value.
And then,
Homestead exclusion went up,
Yeah.
almost $2,000. What is homestead exclusion?
That's-
Well,
Why would
Because-
that vary?
Well, it's whether or not your property obviously is homesteaded, but I don't know why it would vary.
It's the credit that you're allowed because you homesteaded it. But that's not all, I don't see how that follows through either, because you take people like Spears, when they did not homestead that out there,
Oh, yeah.
remember? That was a huge hit they took.
Yeah.
You know, their
Yeah.
value,
Yeah,
the tax value went up so high,
yeah.
far more than yours went down.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
When it's not homesteaded, it's
It's
unbelievable.
a huge.
I think ours was like 4,000 back in 1995 because we bought our house, we didn't know. Usually they include all that in escrow. And all of a sudden we had like a $2,200 tax bill for the first 6 months.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody told us to homestead it.
So it is great, it's a big number.
Mm-hmm.
I guess what yours varied is the variance on what you already are getting as a credit, you know what I mean? You're getting more than 17,000 off of that, apparently. That's just the variance of it.
And you would think, why would the value go down with what's selling is hotter than ever?
I don't
they
know.
must have did some correction last year. If you remember, everyone's went up last year.
It did.
And then they projected they dropped this year. That was already laid out last year.
Oh, really?
So I don't know if they don't follow the market. I don't know the whole science behind it.
Yeah, I don't either.
I couldn't even pretend to.
or ours didn't raise as much as Mapleton's did, or,
Yeah, right,
you know,
yeah.
or as much as Amboy did, or, you know, Mankato, we know that went
Well,
to the sky.
when you have more households and you take 2% on it, you know, you got more to spread it out over, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah, that number that we're certifying, I mean, that's what we're charging to the properties in Good Thunder.
that extra,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, That what we're levying, what that levy is here in this page. At $366,849. That's the number that we're splitting up amongst all the properties in Good Thunder.
Not equally.
Right? No, not a bit equally.
No,
No, because
no rhyme or reason.
you're right. I mean, you just can't divide that by 200. You know
No.
what I mean? I don't know what that number would be, but it's a lot.
So, the way it looks, for this year, we get $359,656 from Blue Earth County. General property taxes.
Yeah.
And like I say, then the local government aid is $180,872. So that's, what is that, 559, that would be $539,000.
Yep.
From those two entities that come into the city.
Yep, and if you add that 539 to this 366, you come up close to the 800, whatever it was that you're saying.
810 or 826.
Yep.
826.
I think so.
Well, I guess we've had some discussion, nobody else has showed up. Somebody wanna make a motion to approve the tax levy at 2%, which has already been submitted to Blue Earth County?
So moved.
Someone second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. All right, somebody make a motion to adjourn,
Does that motion cover both resolutions? There's a 07 and 08. So does that motion cover both of those?
I suppose we should do a separate one.
Right.
Yeah.
Which one was this one?
This was basically the levy for 366 was the 07. The 08 is the one that talks about the,
oh yeah, there's always two of them.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we need to
Good catch.
do the 08 also.
Somebody wanna make a motion to approve 08
So move.
also?
So move.
Sarah.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carried. All right, somebody wanna make a motion to close the truth and taxation meeting?
So I'll make a motion to close that meeting.
Someone second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We can reopen our regular council meeting. Approval of the minutes and the bills, are they out so we can see, or don't we want to bring them out?
Oh,
The monthly bills?
Oh, the envelope?
Yeah.
I don't know, I didn't even look for that.
It should be in the.
I mean, I have the list of bills I looked at.
Yeah, I
But-
got that right here.
Yeah.
You know, and that's-
Oh, I had it. There it is.
Jim can touch those bills, I don't wanna, no, just kidding. I feel like I'm disaster fight already, like I've already had it, so I don't, you know,
That would be
I
the,
don't want it again. It stunk. And she sounds like about what I sounded like.
This should be the.
that would be all these, right?
Yeah, this will be all those.
Yeah. All right. The Bonings refigured their bill for the gas station hookup. I got a different one too now.
Okay.
Everybody all right with that then?
As far as which one?
The Boning, the 1604 August 3rd of water
Okay.
sewer red iron.
Yeah.
They reevaluated that and I got a new bill too, so.
The only other thing on the bills is on the gas, or on electric isn't, the cost isn't down per unit.
I think the electric is being paid now as they're due. I think
what?
they're getting paid as they come due, because those were all being late as well.
How come the sheriff, second and third quarter? Didn't they bill us quarterly?
I don't think, I feel like we didn't have one for the
I
last
don't think
one.
they gave us a bill for the second.
They must not be too worried
Really?
about it.
I would bet not, I bet that's true.
In the Minnesota Waste Processing, we know that their bill came in after our meeting, and it was due before this meeting, so that's why we have two there for that.
And Kunkel Electric is for the new street pole replacement and hook it all up and everything.
Has that
Well,
been, okay,
Anybody look at that light?
Was
See
that
how
done?
The
Yeah,
white light
it was-
part of it?
I haven't looked at it.
I haven't
It's
seen
It's
it.
the same as the
white.
rest of your new streetlights.
Yeah.
So it does show, but it's not as bright.
But it's a bright light. And
I-
what'd you say, Jake, 650 a pole to do the others?
I got the print out there, but I would say it's different than what XL puts up for
Yeah.
a light to me, and it even looks different. The amount of
It
LEDs
could
that
be.
it has in the head.
I'm looking for my recliner.
Well, he said this is like a MnDOT DOT approved light. You know, if the state of Minnesota is going to put a light up, this is the one.
okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it looks like it has a broader span of light cast, and it definitely is brighter than what we have just out here.
Well, yeah, the ones they did doesn't, like you said, cast that much on the area.
Yes.
Just brighter but a smaller.
Just in a
Yep.
smaller little condensed area.
Whatever they got in the hotel parking lots that they should put up, they light them up like it's daytime.
Yeah, they
You know,
really
you park,
do.
The whole thing's lit up.
Well, any questions on the bills then? If not, somebody make a motion to approve them. Oh, we did forget the minutes too. Any questions on the minutes?
I don't think I had
forgot the
any.
minutes. Questions, changes on the minutes?
I don't either. I read it all.
No questions, no changes? Somebody make a motion then to approve the minutes and the bills?
I'll motion to approve the minutes and the bills.
Someone second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. All right, city maintenance. Jake?
Well, I'm gonna start off with, I wasn't here the last meeting, the November meeting, so I'm kinda behind on what I wanted to present to you guys. But what I first wanted to touch base on is everything that I did as far as behind the retaining walls on Sherman. So I have that all written down, the amount of buckets of black dirt that I hauled in with the loader. I have footage of tile that I put in and any parts to get the tile out onto the sidewalk, and then put in the rock that you guys have been using to seal coat the roads with to bed the tile in. So all I'm looking for is how do we want to build that out, or are we going to build that out to the homeowners for tile, dirt, rock? I just wanted to touch base and get an answer on all of that.
The sidewalk project was quoted to the citizens at a drop dead price.
Yep,
Right.
Anything extra is extra.
is on us.
Yep.
Okay, so that answers that.
How about when we get to the retaining walls now, you know?
We-
We-
If I were them, I would say, you didn't know?
Yeah, they might say, well, you didn't put that wasn't part of the,
Yeah.
that wasn't part of the,
Yeah.
So the city would be responsible for the retaining
Yeah.
walls?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it is an afterthought, you know,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you would have put a brand new sidewalk with all this steep dirt pushing down on your new sidewalk over the next 20 years, or
Right.
whatever.
No, it's
I mean, that's what we
definitely
have-
better. It's 100% better, but it's just,
like somebody mentioned, that's what we have across the street on our road. Like Gary Corey's, where his house used to, you
Yeah.
know,
Absolutely, yeah.
so then they're like, well, why don't you guys do that for us? I'm like,
Well, we got the idea from the county right here. That's where I got the idea, from them little foot ones they got across the
Yeah.
street. And I thought, you know,
darned if you do.
Yeah.
to make that a doable project down there where you're dealing with all that elevation, you gotta do something.
Yeah.
It makes everybody's lawn easier to mow,
Right.
you know? Tammy Peters, her property got a lot easier to mow, you know, because it was so steep.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah,
I
you
get
might
it.
have to mow that bottom run from the sidewalk, but that ain't so bad, you were doing it before.
Right.
The other guy on the corner,
Jay Hensey.
yeah, I'd say it improved his value of his property tremendously. You know, just to look at it, see it, you know?
No, it's definitely a good improvement. I don't think anybody would argue that. It's just that we started this all off by sending this, I think most of them even paid it already.
Yeah, some paid ahead of time,
Right.
so,
I mean,
That letter was sent 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So, and we just agreed to continue that.
Yeah.
And I think we talked 2 months ago about the retaining wall, that it was just an addition to the project and you couldn't really go back and ask them for it.
I would think that if we really wanted to go back and ask them to pay more, we should have asked them before we did the job then,
agree.
got their approval, because maybe some didn't want it.
By rights, that should have been decided on before
It should-
we did it,
Exactly,
because it could be a hell of a surprise.
exactly. No, that's exactly it.
You know, I mean, you throw another 1,000, 1,500 on it, or whatever it is, I'm just guessing.
I'm guessing that wall could cost anywhere from what, $5,000 to $8,000-9,000? I don't know. There's quite a little labor invested in
Yeah,
tying it all up, and then he bought that plastic to make it brick look,
yeah.
brick face. So that all took time to put that in the form. So, you know, I'm just guessing, you know. I wished he could make it tonight so we could get this bill settled out, so it's in this year's business. You know? But,
Yeah. Well, at any rate, that's my opinion anyway.
okay, here's another question. Jim's driveway, Ron's daughter's driveway, the driveway from the curb to the sidewalk, whose responsibility is that? You know, the
The
approach.
approach,
The approach. Like on private, like on Vicky's, that would be in an alley, that would be the city's, but Jim's being private, Ron's daughter being private. Who is
I
that?
don't know.
How do we figure that? I mean, here again, we're learning.
I mean, when we did my
We
road,
raised the curb.
didn't
We
there
made
was a-
it more accessible for people to get
Right,
into their
I mean, yeah,
driveways.
yeah.
And Mariano, the curb settled by Jim's an inch, did it quit at an inch?
That's 1.5 inches now.
He said he'll come back next summer, cut it out, start all over, reroute it in,
Yeah.
make it up to where it needs to be. So good thing we didn't get it blacktop this year.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I had to pay for mine when we did ours, when they redid our street project.
That was separate, huh?
Yeah,
the
The approach.
portion between the curb and the sidewalk?
That was all engineered into it at the time too.
so you're talking about the driveway approach?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was yours.
I mean, that was part of our, we had to pay for everything,
Yeah.
you know?
Mhm.
So, I don't know.
I guess that's gonna be a question. Who is gonna get charged for those?
Because it was changed because of the grade change in the sidewalk, right?
In the.
That's
in
what's
the
hard.
garden, The curb, they changed because the curb got raised.
We raised the curb to make the accessibility to the driveways.
And lowered the
more
sidewalk.
favorable. And lowered
And
the
that-
sidewalk also.
And that was done, and I remember we talked about that, rather than rework the street, we could do it this way cheaper.
Yeah,
So it should be our expense.
Probably.
because we lowered that sidewalk, what,
sucks.
6 inches from,
Probably 6 inches.
from your driveway to halfway down to the end?
Yeah.
of it? I know there was a lot of tree roots that I bored through there for quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you went down probably 8 inches down towards Curtis's there, you dropped that sidewalk.
And then the other guy there, what's his name? Jake?
On this side,
Yeah.
Jay Hensey.
Yeah, that there, I dropped that thing probably 16 inches to make it ADA compliant in that corner, because you had
Chad Willie.
Chad out here and he wanted that compliant. So we had to start
Oh,
way
wow.
back, long ways.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, he talked to me about that, he was pretty upset about the whole project, but he goes, what am I supposed to do now? But he
Who?
just, Jay, he just said he wished there'd been some communication, you know, the trees went down, you know, and then the grade got way dropped down, his stairs got covered up, you know,
He, as far as like the stairs go, I talked to him about that too, and I was like, hey man, those forms were up for like 3 weeks. Like it was formed, waiting. You know, if there was any time you were gonna come out and say, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
The time would have been then. And I said, I'm sorry, we could have him cut them out, and if you really want to use those dilapidated stairs, you sure can, and I won't put dirt over them. He's like, no, put dirt over them.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'm sorry once again for the miscommunication, just like with the trees that were in our boulevard, you know, jacking up the sidewalk.
yep. How would we put new sidewalk in
We couldn't
with
have.
them trees there?
We would have killed them.
it just,
I mean,
the whole thing should have been communicated differently, you
Yeah.
know, and it was all time sensitive, we were just doing stuff, but we
Yeah.
thought was best.
I've got added to,
Yeah.
you know, it just,
People just wanna know, I
If
mean,
we learn anything,
Yeah.
we have to let people
You know.
know what's going on, throughout the whole process from now on.
yeah. Yeah, I would agree. He was pretty burnt there at the beginning of it, and I apologize to the best of my ability. But I was also learning on this. You know.
oh yeah. Well, and we, looked at doing this 2 years ago, and then we didn't do it, and then we had the ability to do it, so we're like, let's get it done,
Yeah.
so.
We had people that said, people were falling down, that what are we waiting for? And Mariano said, hey, I can come in. So it kinda went bing, bing, bing.
Mhm.
Barb Johnson was not home that whole day we started, and when she come home, yeah, she was a little hot too, because she didn't know.
Yeah,
Well, we didn't know he was coming, just like, supposed to be coming tonight. So,
Well, it kinda gets back down to, nobody knows anything.
well, should we
Nobody
have,
knows a thing, nobody, everything we do, no one knows anything, so.
should we have it engineered?
Well,
We could spend a lot of money. on it.
if we had it engineered, then we'd assess it all back to them,
yeah,
at 100%, or
Plus,
whatever the percentages are.
Yeah.
we did learn though, and we know what to look for in the future.
Yeah, exactly.
There ain't no getting
It's
around that.
we're always
Right.
learning,
Yeah.
really.
just say it's, I don't know what the cement was. Just say, $50,000-$60,000 for his labor. Oh, and then city shop too. City shop hasn't been paid for yet either. So he's got a lot of
I
money.
thought
out
I
there.
saw something,
Thought we paid for that.
Not
There's
the
something in
cement,
there.
But not the labor.
He hasn't billed for labor for anything.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's got all the labor hanging out there, so, if we'd, just say we have an $85,000, well, that's probably too high. $65,000 project down there, what is
It would be another $7,000 probably,
to have them engineer that?
but then you gotta add on all the assessment costs and all of that stuff too. You know, I mean, there's more to putting all this together than just an engineer drawing it up, you know?
Well, and even when they engineered this project out here, they didn't build it as they engineered it. They narrowed this road. It's drawn straight as an arrow, but they narrowed this road, so,
5 feet.
Yeah,
yeah, it's not drawn as engineered.
things happen,
Yeah.
you know?
So, anyway, okay, so if you ever ask a question, that from the gutter to the sidewalk is city responsibility
That-
on all.
On that
Well, there'll
road.
only be Jim's and Ron's
Yeah,
daughters,
yeah,
2 of them.
yeah.
That's
Because the
only two,
reason,
right?
the
Yeah.
reason that was done was rather than screw with the street, I remember that discussion.
Yep,
You know, rather than screw with the street, we can do it this way, it'd be a lot easier, cheaper, better, you know, and then that's,
Cause you're gonna have to lower the street a foot or something to get that crown out of there.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
that'll happen here next spring now.
and when you get down to Ron's daughter going south there, that's almost even now. You know, there ain't much milling out of there to get that down to gutter height. So I think it's a better choice, you know.
I do too. And that was our decision that we made, you know, I mean, we could have had the street redone, you know.
And you would have had to take way past middle to get that hump out of that street, so you would have milled out a lot of street.
Yeah,
But there is a lot of blacktop there.
yeah.
I think there's that much blacktop down there along them edges where them gutters are. So,
Years and years of seal coating.
yeah, yeah. All right, anything else, Jake? You probably got quite a little.
Yeah, I do. So the next thing was gonna be just that LED conversion kit on Main Street. See if that interested anybody, if that was something you guys wanted to discuss amongst one another. So I printed out a quote from Kunkel. He just threw on with the other quote for the light that he put up, the pole. He just threw in a LED conversion kit, what it would cost and what we could save, potentially by converting everything on Main Street, all 7 of those other poles to LED light. Just see if you guys were interested in that.
Was there like a couple nights that they were all out? Or a few of them were out?
Mm-hmm.
That
'Cause
was-
one of my neighbors was like, it's just, we thought there was no power, but the bar had power. I'm like,
It was the timer that was screwing up.
oh, okay.
So I got some attention.
Yeah. If you drive around town, some areas are really dark.
Yeah.
But
How many poles is there to redo? 6?
7. There's
7?
7. I think now with the new one, there's 8 total.
So it'd be $4,200 more. To me, they're a nice white, bright light
Yeah, I like them.
versus that dingy yellow.
I didn't get to see it
Yeah,
yet.
I-
I didn't even know what happened.
It's,
The rebate gets you about one of them free. There's a $40 rebate on each one of them. He's got it on the back of that page.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then your yearly savings and yearly maintenance, so it's a 6-year payback on those. Basically, 1 per year gets paid for and pay your savings.
I agree though, they're definitely a nicer looking light.
Yeah.
And for Main Street,
yeah.
Yeah, for Main Street especially.
it looked nice.
Spruces it up.
There are poles, we can do whatever we want,
Yep.
so.
Yeah.
I guess I'd be in favor of going for it, if, I don't think so, too.
Well, I think there's gonna be more yet too underground, right? I mean, we've had underground problems.
Yeah, the way Luke Kranz makes it sound is that underground is at its wit's end. So potentially there could be a time that there wouldn't be any lights down there, and that timer isn't
Okay.
going to be the issue.
Where's that located at?
A few years ago, the one on the corner by the post office was out for 4 years and nobody said nothing, so.
Oh, really? So where's the underground bad? Like the whole
It
length
just
of it?
runs from across over by the township
Yep.
on the timer, and there's a box in front of the old clinic door, right?
Yep.
And that's for them lights, right?
Yep.
And then it's underground over there, but nothing's in conduit, right?
Really?
It is
There's
in
pipe
con-
in the ground.
Is there
Places,
conduit?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, with this bill of putting up the new pole, would somebody wanna make a motion to have the other heads changed all in the same motion, approve the bill, and
I guess I'd be for it.
I do too. I mean, there's savings for the electric portion of it,
So where'd that money come out of? Streets, future improvements, or where would that money come out of?
I would say it'd be streets, future improvement, yeah.
When would it happen, do you think? When would they do it?
I'd have to call him and
Okay.
see what his schedule is
You'd
like, I
have to
guess.
order 'em, I'm sure.
Yeah, I doubt he's got him in.
I'll make.
But it sounded like that one just came in, the
Yeah.
one they put up.
Yeah, the one I called
Yeah.
him. he
Unless
made
they
some.
ordered a bunch of other new ones, but
Yeah, right.
this one, it
Might take a while.
matches, it isn't something they put up all over.
I'll make the motion that we upgrade the rest of them.
All right, Tom made a motion, upgrade the light pole lights, someone second.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
All right. I guess if we want to discuss this camera bill, see if you guys, like I told Glenn, as I was talking to Kyle, he just asked, this seems like an outrageously high bill, and as you can see where we're going to be working, we're mainly going to be in your street, so I just said I would print off his bill that he got sent, even though it's in the new owner's name now. Glenn paid for it because he didn't feel right about sticking that guy with a $913 bill after he just sold him the house. So I just told Glenn I'd present it to you guys and see if if you wanted to work with them, and I said there's no promises that you would, just I'll do my part and let you guys see what he got charged, so see what you guys wanna do there, if anything.
So explain to me, this is 801 Main, that's just up here then, huh?
It's where Glenn Zuri Senior was living.
Oh, okay, and what was, what led to this, or what's?
So he was having issues with, flushing his toilet, and I got a phone call on, I believe it was Saturday. They were looking for a company to come out and camera it because they were wondering what was going on. So they ended up going with Jetter Clean, and Jetter Clean came out and found that there was actually, the Orangeburg was crushed and laying flat. Like Ron said, they had to put the new pipe in flat because they didn't have any grade to bring it into our main. And it was full of tree roots.
Just like my house.
Mm-hmm, mine too.
It was Orangeburg, so I mean, it was lucky it lasted as long
Full of
as
what?
it did.
Full of tree roots. Full of tree roots, and then it actually had like a blowout on the side of the pipe.
Oh, really?
You can see it in the
Right.
video that Glenn had.
How far from behind the curb?
2 feet.
Oh, really?
I mean, not
Okay.
much at all. They were hardly in the yard. I mean, I'd say total the hole was from here to not even from here to Ronaway.
Oh, really?
So they went into a manhole?
Just into our main.
That's a stub up there. It takes care of the old Armstrong house on the opposite side,
Yeah.
and then Glen Zuri's, and then that's the only two, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then that comes out in that manhole right by your place there, where that shoots, it's only 2 feet off the curb, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's Main,
Oh, and it comes south to the
South.
manhole?
south to that one.
South to your street.
Yep.
Huh.
Did they, is our main good? Is that good and clean?
Kyle never said anything like it was looking bad, so I would assume.
We couldn't even, I mean, they're at the Y, so there's no way of looking in around, unless Jetter Clean got around the corner or something.
And
but-
they didn't. They just made it to where they could see that the pipe was broke, and they couldn't actually make it any
Yeah,
farther.
okay.
Alright.
So the thing is though, the pipe's broken in the ground, and it's gonna happen again and again and again, just like my house.
Well, but
Well,
it's,
it's all plastic now.
Yeah, they-
right?
it's all,
Oh,
that was all new plastic
Yep.
put
The
in.
hole and replaced, oh,
Yep.
oh.
Yeah, Bonings put that in, well, I hate to tell years anymore, 30, 40 years ago. But
So
that was all
they-
new orange, or new, plastic at the time.
They didn't wanna go into the street, so they left about 2 feet behind the curb, or whatever, a foot,
Mhm.
whatever, and then they didn't go into the street.
Oh.
So
That's
now
what they
it's all
did.
plastic.
That's what they
Yeah,
did originally, back in the day? That's what they did originally?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, what's in that street is all plastic.
that makes sense.
So in reality, was this on city right away then, that break, and it's darn close, right?
It's yeah. I mean, I'd have to find the lot pins, but I know the curb stop is into his property line farther than what the break was. The break was here. His curb stop on his property is up here. So I mean,
So,
that doesn't mean anything. The property pins mean what matters, but they're maybe 2 feet into that yard.
yeah, because usually we stubbed them back behind the curb,
Yeah.
2 or 4 feet, or in, behind the right of way.
Yeah,
And then, so in reality, it's probably our,
in reality it is, isn't it?
yeah.
I think it might be. Boy, they sure must have, of course, you call them on a weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and-
They
and-
go out on a weekend.
They've got the emergency service charge on there.
Yeah.
and
Well, and you said affordable wasn't available, right?
they never contacted.
Are they,
Affordable.
this was their contact?
Yeah.
Okay.
And boning portion of that was 2641 for to repair that.
Right.
And then this 913, so we got about 46, or 26, I mean, $3,700 in it, was it?
So this is affordable or?
35.
This,
This is
this
Jetter.
is this
This
is
is
Jetter
Jetter.
Clean.
Okay.
So it's $3,500.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, that one picture we got shows the city streets kinda got the lines on it. The
I've looked for that
lines.
before, I don't know where it went to.
I think that.
Where it had the
thing is-
footage and everything,
Pardon?
where it had the footage on how wide the streets were
Yeah.
and everything?
Yeah,
I-
that-
Well, this one's got the sewer on it too, and this one's got the water on it, that's. what
But
you're-
it don't show the property.
don't show the property.
Okay.
It's good.
yeah.
So I think it's almost all our bill, isn't it?
Yeah. I would have to agree. I mean,
If she can find that, I mean, we're talking about probably 1 foot.
yeah.
That might not be ours. Or did they run it up to the city's portion and left it? 35 years ago. There, Sarah's got it.
This one?
Yep.
I knew I'd seen it somewhere. It's just up on against the wall.
It used to be behind
That's
though.
not where the hell it is.
I know.
Minor Street.
This is prettier.
Where the hell, Ewing,
There's Minor right there.
right there, so you're at,
So there'd be,
what's that, 60 feet? Or 80?
the way this looks is, it's right there.
Yeah,
See, and that was,
and the thought is that, were it done completely the first time, it probably wouldn't happen this time.
Exactly.
That's really the thought, right?
Yep. So anyway,
Well, anyway, that's, I guess, yeah, I would kind of agree. Maybe that is ours.
so this is, we'd reimburse Glenn for that, Glenn Junior?
Yeah, it sounds like Glenn was gonna pay that bill.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're already paying for the sewers, so the only question is, do we reimburse him for this 913 for jetter clean?
Yeah, that's the question. I guess I'm for it.
Okay, somebody wanna make a motion then to reimburse Glenn Junior 913.50 for the jetter clean bill?
I'll make the motion.
Someone second? You second it, Ron?
yes.
All in favor, say aye.
I,
Motion carried. All right.
So on end on this, I got a call December 1st from Blue Earth County's engineer by the name of Ryan Tilgis, wondering about doing reconstruct on Front Street from the bar to Sherman. I'm just gonna let you guys listen to the voicemail. I tried contacting him today and I didn't hear anything back because I wanted to hear some more info on it as well. I hadn't had time to get back to him when he did call me. Things have been happening and so.
They did mention to us 2022 was the year they were gonna be restructuring that.
So this
Why?
is,
Don't know. It's in their list of things to do.
Hey, good morning, Jacob. My name is Ryan Tilges. I'm the Blue Earth County engineer. I'm calling about future projects with the city of Good Thunder. Ashley gave me your number and asked me to call you about this. A couple of years ago when we did our past CIP capital improvement plan, we did include reconstruction of the one block. I think it's County State Highway 73, which is the piece of road between the Thunder Bar and the elevator. And with that being said, we're updating that CAP and wondering if you guys still want that in there as a future project. The city does have a cost share associated with that project. They would be responsible for all their city utilities under the road as well as 10% of the road reconstruction costs. Wondering if you could talk with the city leadership there or give me a call if you've got any questions. But my phone number is 507. 507.
so that was that, like I said, tried contacting him today and I haven't heard anything back from him, but I'm sure.
Is there a water main running down that street for the elevator, or is that a private line? I knew one time.
I'm trying to think where it does come from, it's,
I think it's just
Should show it up there now.
well, it comes off Main Street,
It stops at the corner, it looks like the pop machine.
and then it comes, because the water shut off or the lock, or the elevator's behind the office on the north-south side.
Yep, yeah.
And I almost thinking it was like a 4-inch line coming in there from Maine. And that should tell someplace.
Does the bar get it on the west side of the,
That's out in front, I'm pretty
out
sure.
front?
Yeah.
So,
The picture shows it coming into the side by the back door. I think there's shut-offs in the sidewalk on the side. I'm not sure, but that's what that picture looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, is this something we wanna talk to like protein sources about and see, what does this do to that
Well, I'll have to
property?
go look at it and see what,
oh, I mean, that street, except for the manhole down there where Mariano did the entrance ped ramp,
Yeah.
that's the only thing, it's a waste of money.
Yeah. Seems to me like it's a pretty good street.
Yeah,
I mean,
It's
they
nice
just-
and
It's
wide?
very,
semis aren't breaking it up,
No.
so.
No,
no,
but you're right.
that's the
storm
only thing
sewer-
I think on that street needs fixing is that manhole. It's not in good shape.
And that's not part of the project probably.
The manhole?
I'm sure it would be if they take the road out, they'd fix that manhole.
well, it'd be part of it, but it would probably be on
Yeah, but
us.
it's on Sherman.
No, it's on.
It's on that road, it's on
It's
the,
right on the corner.
yeah, it's on this portion.
It's about 15 feet up on.
There's,
I guess-
Okay, well,
there's actually
I'd
two
have to
of them.
look at it and see what you,
I kind of agree, it's kind of a good street to tear up.
Yeah.
I mean, just for fun.
I wanna know
And we
why,
put
what's
in
the
a new
reasoning?
approach to the alleyway,
Yeah.
when Brian Beckel and I took that out and we got new sidewalk next to the bar, what are they gonna improve?
well, that's what a guy should talk to and see when they were doing this, they said they had a 5-year project, they were gonna do Main Street too. In that 5 years.
But you
So-
better tell them people down there.
Well, that's why we gotta sit down and talk to them, and give us a map and, not here, like here, when they just came in and, they didn't have everybody sitting down looking at the maps like they did with 66.
Yeah,
I went to that meeting, me and Lee did, I mean, and you ask them questions right there, looking at, instead of just having him sitting over there talking to us, you could walk around and ask right there where everything was going.
Well, I've said this before, if they ever redo Main Street and coming up this hill, they better not shrink it for the
Well, and that's what we got,
fall
that's why you gotta
first.
sit down and
oh,
talk to
yeah,
them.
Because right now, everybody got along,
Yeah.
you can park semis there, and you can even have a car there,
yeah,
and there's plenty of room to work.
Yeah.
But if they do what they did out here and narrow that up,
no way.
Well, that's what we gotta sit down and make sure
Yeah.
that you're talking with everybody at the same time
Yeah.
and not just giving, this is the way we're gonna do it. No, we're gonna work around it and do it the right way.
And I guess I wanna know why. What's their reason,
I think.
It's
I think
immaterial
it's-
right
I
now.
think
It's
some
done.
grant
I mean,
money they
so
got or
let's-
something. They got into some program
Well-
and they need to spend this
Right, if they're getting
program money. and-
federal money and stuff, and that was the other thing, we gotta start looking at that too. If there's monies out there, we gotta start looking at getting it,
There are, you just have to pick a project and engineer it, and get it
I
going.
mean,
I was
whether,
gonna say, it's gotta be engineered and job ready,
Yeah.
before they'll do it.
Yeah.
so. But I'd say just, we gotta, I mean, they're not gonna do it this winter anyway, but they
No.
wanna get all the bookwork done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a matter of, if nothing else, you want me and Jake to run down and actually talk to him at the office in Mankato someday?
Yeah, maybe that, I was just gonna say, we should probably just find out what the deal is,
What they're all
I mean,
doing,
we're
you know?
interested,
Some
but
crappy day, go
They'll
get
come around with
tools.
that.
honestly, we kind of feel that the street's in awfully good shape to tear up. I mean, so.
Right.
what-
Or just have them come out here. I mean, they might do that too, what the heck, I mean.
They'll come out.
Oh, they probably would come out here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how
He's
much
a
would
pretty-
you wanna bet that they would take out the ped ramp that was just put in this summer? if
I was
they
just
went
thinking
in
that
and
too,
rebuilt
but-
that road?
but that's all something that's gotta be talked over.
Yeah,
And the sidewalk, because we did, 30, 40 feet of sidewalk on that road.
So,
Yeah.
that's what you gotta sit down and talk to them about.
Yeah.
And say, we're not gonna do this again.
And,
know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
just,
the only thing that's not new is Kellen's. It's in good shape, but it's not new. The whole bar side was new.
yeah,
yeah, that's all, yeah.
and
Yeah.
the approach, Brian Beckel and I lifted that out of there, and then we found out after the fact that we should ask the county, and the county would have shared some expense. Well, you never, that little stub, you forget about being a county road. I
Yeah,
don't know why it is. Would they ever turn that over to the city? And that'd be a part of ours instead of,
you don't want it.
well, if they're gonna come in and tear it apart and they're gonna make us do something with it, you think there's a 4-inch stub?
That's just, it seems like there's a main there, not just a
Just-
copper line.
You'll just have to ask them.
And it
But I
might
mean-
come up far enough to get the bar and the
Yeah.
sewer.
I mean, but that's probably very old, gotta think of that too. That main and that line into the elevator is probably very, very old.
So you want us to do that? Set something
Yeah.
up with him and,
Yeah.
Maybe they'll come out here.
and
Yeah,
sit
I
down
can, I
and,
can request that he comes out here and.
He's a
presents
pretty
his
decent
plans.
it'd be nice
I've
if he
talked
could
to
come
him
out
before.
and actually look at it,
Yeah,
rather than out, down there on their map, you know, we could
Yeah.
just come out here and.
yeah,
and,
Do
there
that.
again, too, during the winter, we're pretty much open.
yeah,
Pick a nice day, tell them, and we don't wanna stand on the street corner when it's 20 below zero,
oh,
Probably not Wednesday.
right? I mean,
Oh, you're absolutely right.
you
Yeah,
know,
no,
so that's the way we'll, yeah,
Yep. no, that sounds good to me.
got time.
just, yeah.
Find a nice day.
I know I'm taking up a lot of time here, but,
Alright.
electric pump, this is a quote for the lagoons. They really piled it on here, but, you know, I've talked to Brian Severance a lot about this. The reason this quote became is because right now we're having issues with a check valve on one of the big pumps down there in the lift station. So there's 4 pumps in that lift station. You have your 2 small pumps that pump it into the pond, and then your 2 backups, which are a bigger pump. So those 4 pumps pump out individually. They each have their own line. They go out about through these gate valves, out another 10-15 feet, and then they all come into one line and go through a flow meter. So before they go through that flow meter, they have potential, they all have check valves in that lift station. They can flow backwards into the lift station if one of those check valves gates hangs. So rather than holding that sewage, one of those check valves is allowing sewage to come back through, and all we're doing is recirculating it,
Recirculating
pumping it
it.
around in a circle,
Oh.
wasting electricity. So that's something, it needs to get fixed. The check valve needs to get fixed.
They know which one it is.
Yes,
Oh,
yep, they came out, they put that new impeller kit in, one of the service pumps. And then they diagnosed that, and then they were just telling me, you know, this all doesn't need to be done right now, but potentially, this is all maintenance that should be done in the future, you know, to improve this lift station.
What's the quote? I don't think I got a.
Is that,
This is EP
is
on it.
that, causing that to make that pump run a lot then, that it's recirculating all the time?
It's running a lot more than it should be.
So it's just
right
gonna
now.
burn out,
Yeah,
probably.
and I guess, you know, it would have been the October meeting, I brought a quote that had what a new pump would cost, and it was upwards of $7,000 for a new pump. So that check valve, without question, needs to be repaired.
Is that check valve, is that in the ground?
It's actually inside the lift station,
Oh, is it?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you would have to stop the flow coming into the lift station, clean it out, and then they'd have to go down there and probably torch it off and replace it that way. But everything else they put on here is like basically redoing the lift station from the ground up. And I was talking to Brian a little bit about it. He said he knows for a fact those check valves have never been touched. So this would be the first time that he has had to do one since he's been doing your guys' wastewater. So I'd say that's a good thing. Brian's been here for quite a few years, you know.
I don't even know.
He's upwards of 10.
It's gotta be, well, he's been here the whole time I've been here, I think.
Yeah, I was,
16 years?
I'd say almost 15, 18 years, ain't it?
Yeah.
15 years?
Well,
I'm
I
not
would
asking
guess
for,
so.
I'm not asking for approval on this
No, it's just-
$25,000. I'm just presenting to you guys
Yeah.
what's coming down the pipe, no pun intended.
See, and
But-
there-
But the
This
the gate
this
valves need to
lays
get
back-
done
it
right
is
now.
The check
available
valve,
out there.
Or check
the one check valve needs
This is
to
the
be
stuff they
addressed.
work with.
Okay.
Um,
Do we know how much that would be?
You know,
They
They do
didn't
sewer and
separate
water.
that in the
Okay.
quote, and that's something that I should have had them do, I guess.
Well, it kinda doesn't matter because we probably just need to fix it anyways, right?
Well,
It's-
with the new Build Back Better, would we research its infrastructure?
Yep.
Would we research it, try to find some monies before we go for it, you know? We don't need to do it, we can wait until summer.
Yeah, Yeah,
and research and see if the
Sure.
Build Back
There
Better
is.
will pay for infrastructure, which is water and sewer and streets and highways.
There is, it may not be all grant, but I mean, low interest loan, 2% is the going rate now, what I just read here the other day.
How much?
2%,
2%.
you know, which is pretty low. you
It's
know.
worth looking into.
But we would have to involve an engineer, I would imagine.
Yeah,
Because He'll
well,
have to do that, he'll have to prepare all those documents, you know,
Would we have to get an engineer regardless, I would think?
pardon me.
Wouldn't we have to get an engineer regardless if we get a grant or not?
I don't think so, because
No, you're
these
repairing-
people design engineers.
Okay,
You know
okay.
what I mean? But I
Sure.
don't think they're gonna be the people that are gonna go looking to the state,
Okay,
you know, the PFA grant,
Sure.
what they call it, public facilities.
Rural water guy, I wonder if he could lead us in the right direction. Jeff Dale,
Jeff
you met
Dale.
him?
no, I haven't.
Jeff Dale, right?
I think so.
that sounds right,
I
yeah.
don't know what his name is.
I
Jeff
remember
Dale,
that.
Rural
I've met him,
Water, you know, give him a call.
Okay.
I think he's on your list.
Okay,
And ask him, you know, that we got this $25,000 deal, you know, how would we go about applying for some grant, low interest money, you
okay,
know?
Yep.
Because if you know, even if you get low interest money, but again, we can fix it ourselves
What's
and
going on?
pay ourselves back, and now that we don't have that big payment of $62,000, we could cover that in a matter of 1 year easily.
We're still 171,000 behind.
Are we, because of the sewer
Yeah,
project?
Yeah,
Okay.
but we're gonna fix that, I mean, that's gonna be fixed, but in order though, you're probably never gonna get it all granted,
Right,
but if you're gonna look at getting half of it, you're gonna have to, you know, go through the
Process.
process.
Yeah.
And go through the whole process and then take the loan for the rest and all of that, you know. Isn't saying a person couldn't take and pay the loan off as soon as you got it, but I mean, there's no prepayment penalty.
yeah. Well, maybe he can give you some guidance.
Yeah.
You can tell Ashley can take it from there, see where a guy can go with it, right?
Yeah, well, is
Or would
I
we
mean-
have to go to the engineer?
yeah, I mean, you gotta identify the project, get it engineered, and then prepare the documents, you know.
So-
See, that's what I think this Jeff Dale might be able to say though. This is a $25,000 deal, okay? He might go, okay, city your size, blah, 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 you got this kind of money,
Do it.
blah, blah, blah. You're gonna get maybe half in a grant, so that's 12.5,
12.5, yeah.
okay? And now it's gonna cost you $4,000 to engineer this, and so do you wanna do it? for
Yeah,
that?
he might have
You're
an
gonna
idea.
you're gonna end, see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You may not, he might be able to give some advice to that.
okay,
Yeah.
yep. I'll reach out to him and
Because really, as small as the project is, we would just pay for it, then mess around with it.
I know, that's just it, and then you don't have to deal with anything or anyone or any state or anything, you know?
Because if the check bills have never been looked at, like Brian Severn says, it's just maintenance,
Absolutely,
just maintenance,
and it's good timing for us,
yeah,
you know? Just like you said, we don't have payment anymore,
right.
so it's good timing for us to, get caught up on this.
You say we're 170 behind you?
Yeah, according to this, we're 171.
And the revenues coming in, From water
We
and-
took in 102,000 so far this year.
sewer fund, 102, yeah, year to date,
Yeah,
amount 102.
yep, according to this receipts.
And we're still, that 170 you say is hanging out there yet?
Yep.
So,
That's something that we need to clean up. Didn't Berker tell us that we need to
Yep.
clean that up? Somehow. It's just a matter of moving money. 'Cause we
Yeah.
even talked about, I mean, according to this, in the general fund, we got $460,000. We could, according to this, we could pay that out of the general fund. We wouldn't even have to.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the investments don't make anything, but, you know, they're there. You don't have to touch them, you know. Balance no investments is $460,000.
On the expenditures here for the sewer, Tom, year-to-date 21 is 218,000. You got that figure?
That here is 229 year to date. So that's pretty close.
So, that's, where'd you come up with the 170?
That is after these big bills have been paid out. They made those, Burkhardt made those in the books. You know what I'm saying? It didn't go through a line item in our budget. He made a journal entry,
Okay,
okay?
all right,
And that's why that doesn't show up in
Okay.
the disbursements.
yeah. And he did tell us to make a motion, was it?
Resolution.
Resolution
Yeah.
to make this settlement. And if we wanted to take it out of our money and just pay ourselves back at whatever, $30,000 a year.
Whatever he said was gonna take, yeah.
Because, under the revenue side, you said we made how much so far?
According to this, it's 102.
Sewer fund, 102, yep. So that, it's about, $10,000, not quite, a month.
I mean, it's actually more, I mean, you know, we have $141,000 in investments that belong to the sewer fund. And so that is, the actual balance that, if you don't consider that, we're $312,000 in the red, in the sewer fund. That's on this City of Good Thunder cash balance investments. That's the name of the page I'm looking at, cash balance investments. It's kind of it's got writing in the middle of it.
Yeah, I am not finding that figure.
Yes.
Okay.
Not in that.
Not in that?
It must be in your other package.
This one?
Right underneath what you just threw down there, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Right
There
maybe.
you go.
Is that what it is, cash balance?
Cash balances,
Yep,
yep,
yep.
yep,
If you look at the sewer fund,
yep.
and it says about the third column from the right, balance, no investments, we're 312 in the red. Sewer. Because of that 341
yep.
journal entry,
Yep,
okay? So that's what we're really
in the red
in the
for?
red for. So with that being said, we would have to get into the investment money to take that 312 or whatever out of it.
Or would you borrow X amount of money from the general fund, let that debt hang there for a couple of years, don't clean it up completely,
Yeah.
let that debt hang there, and the revenue that we produce each year, let that pay that off.
Well, I don't see why we can't do that. I don't know, maybe there's some city reason, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know that. But,
Yeah, because otherwise, you know, then, like you say, you would run the general fund too low,
yeah,
then you'd have to take out of that others, but we ain't making a penny on it anyway.
we're not making anything on it anyway, but, I mean,
If you, general fund is 461, right? That's what you got, beginning balance?
47, or, that 461, yeah.
Yep, 461, so if you borrow $200,000 from that, you take that down to,
261.
yep, and then
Might be a little low.
a little low, yeah.
maybe. What do we got in it? We must have, we have a total of 790,000.
Investments, yep.
So,
$790,000.
if we took the 141 that belongs to sewer fund in investments, out investment, what that leaves, that would leave, 312, what's 312,6 minus 141,2?
312,600.
312,600 minus 141,200, just rough numbers.
Is 11, or 171,400. Right?
Okay, 171,400, yeah, that sounds right, 171,400. So, could we, so with 171, we're at we're at
790.
450, 209 investments, and I'm just trying to, 171. It kind of seems like what we should do is take that whole 312 out of investments, but take all of the sewer funds portion of it out, so that's zeros, you know what I mean? The sewer fund and investments there, the second column from the right, is 141,2. I mean, that's what's in the investments, that's the dollars in investments, belongs to the sewer fund.
That's what's in here.
Right,
Yep.
right. So if we took that, for sure,
Yep.
and then the remainder, so the total then would be $312,000. That we would take out of investments,
Yep.
and then we could take the rest of it out of general fund, I suppose. Because the rest of it's kind of marked, you know, the water fund and all that.
And I suppose they'd like that cleared up maybe this business year, or would it matter if it went? I mean,
I don't know.
it's not like we're insolvent,
No,
you know?
no.
I know we've asked him, you know, should we get direction from him and say, is that a good idea to take 141 out of this 790, and then take the remainder out of the general fund to make the sewer fund solvent? Would that be a question?
Yeah, I think we should ask him, because I'm not sure that I'm understanding this perfectly either. We've already paid this, you know what I mean? These bills have been paid already. It's just an accounting thing. So,
Yeah, because,
Yeah,
We don't owe this.
They paid them out of general fund.
yeah, we don't owe this money.
oh, like you said, it's just a numbers thing to make that sewer fund solvent.
Right,
We've
right.
already paid it out, yeah.
Yeah. It's not like we're taking money out and,
Just to do adjusting entries, just to put them in the right places.
yeah, so it would warrant a question to him before we did anything.
If it's already paid for, why do we even want to worry about that it's running a deficit in the sewer fund? We know it's paid for. It's just that we never moved the money around to let the sewer fund pay for the project, right?
Right.
That's what it gets down to.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah,
So I mean, it's not like you gotta take money out of investments. That's what I don't
Right.
quite see.
yeah.
You know, I don't think you gotta take money out of investments to do this. I don't
It's
think.
already paid
Because
for,
it's already paid for.
paid for.
Or some way you magically just wipe it off, you know, through some journal entry. So that, because what difference does it make?
Yeah, because you could say it's already paid for out of the general, why can't you just eliminate that debt on that
Right.
line item?
Right, and then that way there, I mean, the way I'm thinking about it, what would happen is that that money would go into the general fund, and then we'd end up probably putting the money back in investments out of the general fund. That doesn't make any sense.
But that's what the accounting would do, is you take it from one place and put it in another, and then they equal each other out.
Yeah.
It just moves it around.
It just, yeah, just money, it's just numbers, yeah.
It's not like we're writing a check and
Cleans it
lowering
up.
our.
Right.
Well-
Yeah, we'll need to have Ashley call him up and ask him exactly how we need to word that and what happens, you know? We need to understand what we're doing, not just do it.
The resolution to do that though, because you mentioned that, right?
Yeah, but I mean, we need to understand what it is exactly we're really doing there. I mean, are we actually moving money around, or is just a?
We're satisfying debt. It's already satisfied, but
Yeah.
the debt is gone.
It's our debt. I mean, we owe it to ourselves here somehow, see, so, yeah. Yeah, so you would have to ask that question. See how we word that resolution and have him explain to her in such a way that we'll understand what it is we're really doing and why.
Yeah, because it'll make your general fund or investment depreciate, that'll bring that one up, but nothing really changes.
Exactly,
Yeah, because it's paid for.
It's one bucket, you're just moving water from one spot.
yeah.
It just doesn't change the level of the
Yeah,
bucket.
yeah, essentially.
Right. So Burkhart question to make sewer fund solvent, the resolution, and how it needs to be done.
And how it should be done and what it is we're actually doing and what's happening in the books.
Yep.
I need to understand that there.
How it should be done and how it makes sense.
Because it's all paid for.
Yeah,
All we gotta do is either eliminate that line item
right,
or something. Because we paid it out of the general already.
yeah. And we have a balance in the general, yeah.
But yeah, we still have a good balance.
And that's because we got our end of year money, that sort of pushes it back up.
And I believe we get
That's coming in.
some more, is the county money, did that come in now in the beginning of December, or does that come in sometime in
I
December?
think it comes in
Middle,
December.
late December.
Yeah,
In
so,
December.
yeah.
Yeah, see, that'll come in here yet.
Yep,
There's quite a bit out yet.
yep, it's $180-some thousand, I believe. Part of it, the half, the
Yeah.
payment.
Yeah, because we do $1 million, it's always $1 million, even as it goes up and down, it's just always still $1 million.
Exactly. It's still all there.
Yeah.
All right, well, we've done enough stuff there. Jake's probably still got more.
I was thinking the same thing.
I just wanted to end on kind of keeping everybody in the loop. I sent out that text message that Robert and I were going to tackle that truck, and we did. And we did it with the help of his grandson, Alden, and Riley helped us out some too. But mainly Robert and I tackled that. And without Robert, you guys wouldn't have seen that truck on the road Friday or Saturday, because there's no possible way I could have done that by myself. So once again, I can't tell you thank you enough for helping me
I'm
out.
glad
with
we
that.
got it, frame rails in time to get them on, that's all I'm glad.
Yeah, that was I can't imagine doing the whole town with that much snow with the pickup. I really can't. I mean,
Yeah.
that would have been a lot. That would have been quite the burden. So I just wanted to.
And with that, the frame structure of the truck is good now, but the frame structure of the box is got some problems. So, you know, do we just kind of search for something different over the next year or two? I mean, it's gonna go,
Yeah.
but again, it's still rusting. No matter what we did, it's still rusting.
Yeah.
What we did on the frame rails, he treated them with some rust paint stuff that they're gonna live 15 more years, but the box ain't gonna.
Yeah.
The box
Right.
might make it, you know, and we could get it sandblasted and painted this summer, the box rails. And, you know, you could put that new subframe in there and you could go, but then you look at the box and you got some
Yeah, I know.
issues. So, I
If you
mean,
can find one of those, that's kind of a little special box, isn't it?
yeah, I don't think there's much of that around. Gary Fay told me that we've had that since 2005. He took Ronnie Hiller up to the cities to get it. It's a 93.
Really.
We've had it since 2005. So,
16 years.
Definitely served us well.
Yes, it
Yeah.
does. And it's a good little truck. It's
Yeah.
quick, it's fast, it turns around on a dime. Only thing is, it's got them hard construction tires on the back end that ain't worth a devil in the snow.
Yeah.
So I don't know if a guy should just recap up some good Michelin casings, get a good gripper, cause you can't do nothing without chains.
No, that's,
Knuckle had the chains on all last winter,
Yeah.
you know. So, you know, you can get a good gripper cap for about $225, you know, maybe 80, 90 bucks for the casing, you know, or you could get a new Michelin progressive drive tire for probably 500 bucks.
Yeah. Couple $1,000.
Yeah, but them darn tires ain't no good.
Yeah.
No,
They're
well, you're
construction.
wearing out chains.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, is that something that we should do right away?
well,
Put tires on it?
definitely, I mean, what the heck, I mean, like I say, I don't know what chains cost, but you're gonna wear out a set
oh, they're
every couple
about
times
80,
you plow.
probably about almost $100 a set now, right? Aren't they?
yeah, he had, Brian had 2 sets in the shop, so I put a new set on, and I already wore through one of those chains, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't say
So
I
make the
was,
motion, look, do tires on it.
I can get them through Bauer built, and we can put them on. They, our job to put 4 new tires on it,
Right,
so.
right,
I'll see what he's got for a mission, cause they get a good footprint
yeah.
in the snow. All right.
I
so-
second his motion.
Did you second it?
I'll second it, yeah.
Second it, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
And then it wouldn't hurt to start looking for a truck.
yeah.
So we can
I'll
start getting
definitely-
some ideas of what
Yep.
it's gonna cost us,
Yep,
you
I'll
know?
definitely keep my eyes open. And,
Where'd a guy look for one that's another, what? 5, 7, 8 years old, or how new would a guy
Might
go?
have to go to Mexico to find one.
I don't know, we won't know till we look, I don't think.
That DOT truck Pete got, those are always coming up, you know, where they sell the wings and all that off of them.
Yeah,
Just gotta.
What is that bid, Cato? Like, is it through like bid maker? No, like the, There's like a city bid thing.
Every 7 to 10 years.
I don't think you'd wanna have a tandem truck
No,
in
not
Godella.
in here. not
It
in
would
this
be
one.
too hard to turn around.
I would agree.
too big,
It would be good for the traction part, but
too big.
not the maneuverability of it.
I agree.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, just 5, 6-year-old truck.
No, just, like you say, you can start looking.
Yeah.
I think Ashley can put something on some city thing that in search of,
okay.
like, with that, you know what I
Things
mean?
are crazy expensive right now. So.
Yeah, just to get an idea so we can start planning.
And then the Ford 1-ton or whatever that is, that's got an oil leak. You wanna
Yeah.
share that too, Jay?
That oil leak on that truck is significant to the point where I've reached out to multiple mechanics, and I had Eli Depute outside of town. One day I was on a call and the truck was sitting up at the station, so Eli knew the problem that it was having, and I described it to him. You park it overnight and you'll have an oil spot under it the size of my sheet of paper here. I mean, it's significant. So I told Eli about it, and he crawled underneath of it that day I was out on a call, and he gave me some ideas of what it might be, and I said, well, would you be interested, because he's right there, and, you know, he's part of our community, so
Yep.
why not give him a shot at it? He knows what he's doing, he's a good, decent mechanic. And he said, I wouldn't touch that thing with a 10-foot pole.
Oh geez,
Is the pan rusted out on it?
Nope,
what's wrong with
he
it?
thought it was the oil pump.
The high pressure oil pump?
But isn't it internal,
No, it's on top of the motor.
the oil pump?
Yep, the high pressure oil pump's on top of the motor, and when you see a valley pan leak that comes down the flywheel, it's the high pressure oil pump, and there's a little screw on the bottom of it that falls out. I just did one of mine. Takes 3 hours to change it.
Oh,
It's not too big of a deal.
So this is, I'm sure you probably know, but that's the 6.0.
Yeah.
Okay, so I talked
The high
to,
pressure oil pump with the 6 O's on the back side there.
okay,
But
so
it's
that's,
still on top of the motor.
so I talked to a mechanic, I called Mankato Ford and asked them, just give me an estimate without looking at it, and they said, as of right now, just talking to you on the phone, upwards of $2,500 for us to tackle it. So I called, Kevin Willert. Kevin said I wouldn't be interested in doing that. He said, but there's a guy across the street that loves tackling Ford diesels. So his name is Chris Roloff. He's in Mankato, and I've been in contact with him. And he gave me some different ideas that it could possibly be turbo lines. leaking?
Turbo pedestals, there's 2 seals in the turbo pedestal that leak on those two. If that leaks, though, it'll dump the whole 10, 12 quarts out
Okay.
in a few minutes.
So that,
And then it just won't start.
either way, I guess where we're at is we have a significant oil leak. Every morning I'm checking the oil, and I would say once a week I'm adding oil, about a half quart, 2 quart. It's gonna have to be addressed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kinda like the check valves for the lift station. It's one of those things where it's not gonna go away.
Did that guy give you any idea of dollar amount, the other guy?
No, he said, he told me he'd like to look at it before he
Alright.
told me any amount of money that he would charge.
I'd like to see what a whole new motor is for them too, because for $10,000 you just put a whole new motor in versus $25 repair, you know. I'm not sure what that motor is, but.
I guess maybe take it down to that guy,
Yeah.
let him look at it, see
Okay.
what he can figure out,
Yep.
you know?
Then we could have an idea.
Another significant oil leak on those, if it doesn't leak in the summer but leaks in the winter, is the oil cooler. It's got 2 O-rings in there, and when they're cold, they'll leak. When they warm up, they seal. I just did that on mine too. So it only leaks in the wintertime, and if it's on the driver's side, it might be the oil cooler.
Okay.
Is it pretty much in the center on that, or?
Yeah, it's pretty well centered, but you can tell it's coming down the valley. I mean,
Yeah.
like, there's oil on the back axle, so when I'm driving down the road, it's leaking.
Oh,
Yeah.
But I'd say it's every morning it's about this width underneath the truck, about the size of a puddle. So
And that's in a building that's 55 degrees
Yep.
or whatever.
Right.
yeah,
I guess take it down to that guy, get an
Yeah.
estimate,
Okay.
see, you know. Okay, here,
If you-
here's the
if you-
point.
If you park that on that new concrete, the guy that puts it in said he'd come and clean it all the time.
oh yeah. I don't think so.
If he takes it to that guy and he says it's $1,800, do we wanna tell him just get it done now, so we don't have to wait till next meeting, and that's how it goes with one meeting at a month, so.
Yeah.
Would we put a dollar amount on it, and if you can do it, get it done within a reasonable amount of time, take it there and get it done?
What year is this truck?
2006.
Oh, it's definitely.
I know zero about it, I don't even know where the oil pump is, I didn't know they had external drive oil pumps on them.
You know. Mine's at the front of the motor, that one's in the back of the motor, back top. High pressure oil pump, but it's a weird how it works. When it doesn't work, it won't start at all.
What's it driven off of, on the back end?
I don't know, mine's driven off the front, because you have to pull part of the front cover to take off the drive in there.
What liter is yours then?
7.3.
Oh, and this is a
6.0.
6.0? Okay.
7.3.
They look the same, but they're completely different animals.
They got that one right, and they messed up this one and the next one, and then they got the last one.
6.7.
Okay,
Well, I suppose we need it, and, it's probably worth putting $2,500 in.
I kind of think
oh, I
so.
would think so.
I mean,
I think that truck could run for a long time, I really do. It just needs a little bit of
Motion to get it,
TLC.
motion to get it fixed up to 2,500
Yeah.
without getting a hold of us.
You make that motion?
I will.
I'll second
All in favor, say aye.
that.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Gotta get the.
Yeah, I mean, it runs good now since he found the fuel filter in the frame rail that nobody else ever changed,
Oh, yeah.
because it was quitting all the time. Thing quit since. So, that's done.
Yeah, there's 2 fuel filters in the tank, there's one in the rail, and there's one on top of the motor.
Is it? Anything else, Jake?
Nope, that's all I got for you guys. I appreciate the time.
All right. Well, Mariano made it. We were talking
Poor
about
guy.
all the cement before, and we were hoping you'd make it, Mariano.
Yeah, well, we did in this time.
Okay. We talked about it, we made a few decisions that the approaches from the gutter to the sidewalk would be the city's responsibility.
Okay,
So that would all be billed to the city.
to the city,
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing,
Well, all the approaches
all the approaches.
from the gutter to the sidewalk.
Okay.
That 4 or 5 feet, whatever it may be,
Mhm.
that the city will replace that because we raised the road up to eliminate some problems getting into driveways. So I guess with that, we'll have to see how you got it figured and then make sure we get that in the city's portion of it all.
What other portion is it?
Well, we have, private sidewalks and patios and,
Okay.
other
Work that was done
Other
at the
work,
same time?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Okay. So do you have your costs for the sidewalks in Mariano?
I have right here, yep.
And then we were discussing the wall, do you have walls
In there too.
Walls are in there, but this is, oh, okay, you got the walls
That's
in
all
here.
the bill.
Okay. And the curb,
And the curb, yep.
yep, oh, and the garage,
Yep.
okay. Anybody know how to pawn copies?
I do.
Good.
Go for it. You get through?
That way we can all look at it at
Sorry,
the same
I caught
time.
on.
Jump over my tank.
No, we're discussing.
And then I believe they asking for these, if you wanna leave a copy. there.
Oh, okay, yep. Insurance,
Yep,
alrighty.
and also I got these here.
Oh, okay, for your W-9, yep, alright. Usually we're just gonna give to Ashley, right? Put that up there.
I wanna make sure it works or not. So I'll pass one to Tom.
Me and Jimbo?
Yep. And Ron's got one. Should Jake have one too?
Yep.
I think I made him one. Okay.
Alright. Cause you and Mariano spent a whole day recovering every ounce of cement was poured on the sidewalks, right?
Yep, everything that, thank you, Mariano poured, we went around and measured the thickness of the concrete, and, yeah, we spent, from like 10 AM to 4:30 PM measuring that day.
Okay, so the walls, we have a $7,000 for the walls. And you said the city, that's ours, Tom, right?
that's my opinion.
Yep. Absolutely, yep.
I mean, what's in here that's of the special little projects, patios, personal sidewalks and all that?
I have that one in different here.
You got that what, Mario?
Yeah, I have that, I have that one in different, I don't have that one with me right now, like for the whatever the houses, but
Okay,
it's a $5,600 and 20. 5,620, that's what I have for the patios and, for the houses.
would that be the approaches then? Would that be in that miscellaneous?
Yep,
Okay, so there'd be 3 approaches in there on that. And then the sidewalks, Jim's driveway,
yep, that come in there.
and Jim's patio area.
Yep,
Your daughter's, and then Barb Johnson's, and then that little curb for a step for that guy and the other house, and then the Frank house. And that would be the little sidewalks from the sidewalk to the street too, right?
Yep.
That's all the
all in
miscellaneous.
there, yep.
Okay. Now, that's just labor, right?
That's just labor, yeah.
Because the cement's already been paid for.
Yeah.
Yep, okay.
No, so in this bill, what's in here that we don't pay? Anything?
Well, how did that go? We already sent some of that to the people for the labor. The deal was, we paid for the cement, right?
Right, so it was the labor you're being paid, you were,
The homeowner was gonna pay the labor, is that right?
right.
And they know what it is, it's,
It's the individual, I mean,
yeah,
we see
yeah.
it.
it's,
Ashley's got like a folder that's
Yeah.
got everybody's
Yeah,
cost
like on
in
a
there.
50-foot lot, it's like 750 is their portion, so.
yeah.
So, the curb labor, that's all ours. The shop labor, that's all ours. But
This-
then all
this
them
is-
sidewalks would have to be footages done by per footage, right?
But it's immaterial to the homeowner because we've already sent them the bill.
That's right.
That's my point.
Yeah, that already got sent, right?
Yeah,
Right. There's no
They're,
sense.
they're
in-
not set, but there's a contracted price.
Yeah.
We need to go ahead and tell her, to go ahead and send those now, the project's
Right,
done.
right.
So that's all figured in there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's right.
So we pay Mariano this money,
That's what I
and what
think.
comes back in to the city is what the property owners
Pays in.
pay.
Yep. And they've already agreed to pay it.
And is that,
Fine.
yep, we all understand that?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
all right. Because, I mean, we did a significant amount of sidewalks,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and wall,
It was a good spot to get it done too.
and curb.
The shop labor, you know, we had 2 or 3 different numbers on what that'd be, and now it's 4,000 in here. You know, we had 2,500, we had 3,000, now it's 4,000. You know, at the council meetings, that's what we were told. And then what are the 2 removal amounts for, I mean, cause you guys did all the removal, right?
What was the other one, John, Jim?
There's a 364 for removal and a 3,000 for removal for Mariano, or what are those numbers for?
You talking about the shop there?
Oh, no, just the removals, there's 2 that have removal.
Oh, the curb removal. The curb, and then the removal of the curb. Curb labor is just his to put the curb in. And the removal, because it only took not even 8 yards to pour, what, 200 feet of curb? That don't take much cement when you really think about it,
Right.
That's a lot of work.
but it's a lot of labor to form it up on both sides, you know, and then hand form it. So, yeah, there's only $364 worth of removal on the curb. And the
That's city too,
$3,000 in the shop, we took out a foot of dirt, right? Well, we took out all that fill first, saved the fill,
Yep.
dug out a foot of dirt, put the fill back in. So that's why that was all my Bobcat,
Right.
so.
So is he reimbursing you for that then?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I just wondered where it was going, I just wanted to be clear on
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And that's the way it should be.
That's the garage labor and the removal,
Yeah, and to ask,
just for the shop.
and to take the dirt out and re-put the
Right, I
gravel
mean,
back
that's
in.
all shop.
Yeah, all shop. So that floor cost us $7,000.
And then I hate to ask this question, do we pay tax? Sales tax?
The city don't pay tax, do we?
I'm not clear on that.
The only thing I can say is that any account that I've set up with a business, sales tax is excluded.
We don't pay it on the material, I know that much.
Right, but I don't know about labor.
I don't know.
yeah, I don't know about service and labor.
I don't know anything about that.
We'd have to find out.
Because you got the tax on the total amount, Mariano, yeah.
Yep, yep.
So,
I believe I have to pay those taxes myself. Right?
would you have to pay tax on the removal? You know, that cost? I have no clue.
It's really interesting,
I
like
have no
say,
idea, it's a
say
phone
Pete
call away.
drops a load of rock for you.
Pardon?
Say someone brings you a load of rock.
Yep.
You pay tax on the rock,
Yeah,
but if they spread it, you don't. It's really weird.
you don't?
No, because that's the service you don't pay tax on, but you do on the product.
Oh,
It's kind of crazy. I can't tell you how they explain that either.
Well, is everybody in agreement of what we got here so far, except for the question on the tax?
Absolutely.
What's the
So,
expenses?
pardon?
What's the expenses?
I have it, is it there too, but I have it in here if you guys wanna look at it.
Expenses?
Yeah, I have it in here
Oh.
too.
I mean, is it just a plain simple answer or just?
Is it like rebar and
I,
fuel and,
Cause we were
Wood.
paying for the stakes and chairs and rebars and what.
Yeah, but we,
oh, the
we put the seal
the
on.
sealer.
Okay,
oh,
right,
okay.
okay.
Sealer and, well, there was a lot of cutting. Mariano has a,
Okay. I was just interested in where it went.
Diamond blade and.
yeah, there you go. Oh, and then his, the brick liner that we talked about, that was $480.
Okay.
So that adds up to the miscellaneous.
Sounds good.
So,
I just don't know about the tax.
on the tax, yeah.
Yeah, we'll just have to find that out.
So,
We can leave that one alone if you guys think if we, have to put it on, but I have to.
yeah, so Mariano charges us tax, but we're tax exempt on certain stuff, or is it everything? It isn't like it used to be, is it?
It isn't like it used to be.
No. Would you be all right, Mariano, if we paid you the 54,938
Yep,
until
yep.
we figure out the
You
tax
guys figure out,
situation?
if I not paid those one myself, I'll be fine.
Okay.
Okay.
And then we'll check it out right
Sure.
away.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, that's just a phone call away.
yeah, and I would even make it like in the motion then that we pay the applicable tax then.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
So that he doesn't have to wait another month,
right.
you know what I mean? He can just,
Okay, yeah,
you can just,
Yeah.
if it finds out that we pay all the tax, we got him a check for 4,100,
Yeah, okay.
half the tax, 2,000 or whatever, you know? So it's
Right.
done.
All right.
cause he'd have to go back on the company then too. I mean, as far as, he wouldn't pay tax on it either.
For the
If
concrete
the
and
city
stuff?
doesn't have to pay tax, then neither does Mariano.
Right. We don't know. if
Well,
he-
I don't know
yeah,
that
you have
for
to find
sure.
out, but I mean, that'd be a question to ask
Yeah.
whoever you're calling,
I'm not gonna say.
to make sure that it's
how
all,
that works. Um,
because like boning, I mean, we don't pay for tax on the pipes and stuff, well, he doesn't neither.
Oh, he
oh,
doesn't?
yeah?
If it's for a
No, I
city
mean,
job, he
that's-
doesn't have
that's just
to?
as far as I know, that's just a wash.
Yep, see here, for cutting that there, the boning bill, there's 0 tax on it.
Yeah, see, it's just, anyway, it's something you'd ask wherever you're calling, the League of Minnesota Cities or whoever.
You just pay, the accountant would tell us that, right?
Yeah, Burkhart would.
Burkhart,
Yeah, whatever, whoever, yep.
Yeah.
So,
And we have all the like insurance and the W-9 and all that stuff?
yep, got that right here.
Okay, perfect,
I'll leave this on top of here for Ashney.
perfect.
There's the insurance certificate there, there's a W-9 there.
Cause I think that was what you talked about last month, is we just needed to get that too.
One thing I was gonna bring up, and
So
oh, the
like,
cement, we were in question about yards of cement last meeting.
Yep,
You and Jake, or Jake and Mariano, you went and remeasured it all,
Was-
how did that come out?
was 100% right. Pretty cool. I mean,
So what was
We-
that, did you have in there, Jim, the west side of the gas station? And I owe the city for 7 yards, I believe it is, on the south side of the gas station. So I think it was 7 yards, I owe
I
you.
think I was that was like 10 yards off, so that would be 7, so it'd be very close then if that's what it is.
Yeah. Oh, and then when you put your boulevard in, or gutter, what did you do with that, Yankoville?
We paid that.
How about Ashley's sidewalk?
We paid that.
Oh, okay. You don't want to be in reverse for the cement part of her sidewalk?
We'll get reimbursed for it, yeah, but we had the Mason paid for it.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah.
yeah, cause you get reimbursed for that, so.
So anyway, then I'll make a motion that we pay this bill for the right away for the 54,938.03. And then we check on the tax and we pay whatever taxes that we're responsible for.
All right.
If it's 0, it's 0. If it's 4120, it's 4120.
Or or if you tax just the labor, or if you, right? There
Right.
could be a different variance
Yeah,
in
we'll have to
here.
find out.
Yeah.
I guess you'd have to send this bill to the accountant and say, what, is there any tax applied to this?
Right.
Cause we don't know, I don't know. All right, Tom made that motion, someone second,
Second,
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
maybe I can't, huh? Do I have to abstain with the daughter in on it?
We're probably both supposed to, but I mean, it's,
You're gonna reimburse the city back for
Yeah.
that portion.
Well, and you're paying for, I mean,
No, I know,
there's,
so I
you
just,
know,
I just wanna make sure she's all legal.
but I'm
That's all
just
I
thinking
do.
if it was a financial gain for yourself, you would have to abstain, but not.
So now with,
I
Ashley
paid for all
being
mine
out,
myself.
probably for like 10
I know,
days,
me
right?
too.
Every
yeah, I
penny.
don't know. I don't know.
How do we get, do you want your check before 10 days is up, Mariana? Our clerk is kinda sick.
She talked about coming and making bills out, so.
Yeah. But I mean,
If you guys can, otherwise I can wait too, whatever, what for you.
well, we, see,
We'll get it as soon as we can.
A
We
week
can
from
get-
today is Monday, so that would be her 10.
we can still get it by, right after Christmas,
For-
if she has to be gone for whatever days they call for, right? I know most people, some companies are 5 days, some,
Well, if she tests positive, she gotta have a negative test, right? That's how it works.
is that over?
Right.
I don't think so.
You gotta be in quarantine, I know Casey.
Because you can
everybody
test
says you gotta
positive
be
for like 3
10
months
days.
after you have it, I think. That's
10
what I
days
heard.
in quarantine, you know, or not show up to work for 10 days, so.
I was 10 days from
How
beginning
about
of
if we get the
symptoms.
check to you before the end of the year,
That'd be good.
okay? All right,
I mean, she said she had to come in, she can come in and write out bills and.
now, did
Yeah.
you pay Yanko for that cement in question? You remember? Right.
No, not yet.
Oh, not, so there would be more to the, no,
For
the city
the-
will pay that.
For the city
For the-
shop,
Yeah, for the city shop.
that
I
would have
don't
already
pay
been
any-
paid last month or whatever.
Yeah, but them,
Those
We
other
did-
bills,
pardon?
the other bills, we're questioning. them.
Yeah, so now the city has to pay Yanko, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cause we paid
But
them
Were
4,000.
they trying to bill you for it during the last couple of weeks?
I got a 1 week that I don't hear from those guys anymore, but every week they send a bill,
Okay,
so.
how, you remember what offhand that is?
$4,000 or something like that.
4 grand, okay.
Well, we paid 4,414 for October, November invoices for Yanko. That's the
So
last,
we paid everything but that little bit that was in question then, right?
I think so. Well, that was the last one on here. At least this month.
Okay, well, we need to make sure we get them paid then too, you know? Cause now we've straightened that all out, right? Everybody's happy?
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because those guys, they got my account, they will grab it from there if we know pay, they will.
Okay, yeah,
grab
well, we'll see what we can do about getting that balance paid up,
it.
Mariano, so that's not on yours. All right. Okay. Everybody's happy with
33,
said and done, right?
$3,800 we owe Yanko from the last round.
Okay,
I'm looking at last month's right now.
Oh, I was gonna do that.
all right. Well, thank you, Mariano.
Thank you.
Yep, we'll get you a check here within,
So like those $5,000 I billed to the owners of the houses, or what we're going to do with?
well, that's right, if them boulevards are in there, you'll have to measure the boulevard driveway approaches,
Yeah,
3 of them. And the city will pick that up, right? Then we'll owe Mariano more money, right?
Yeah, if that's not in here.
Yeah.
That was in
Okay, yeah, I was thinking
miscellaneous.
it was in here already, but
Yeah, I thought that was in miscellaneous.
it's not in there.
if it's not, it's, yeah, then it's.
So there'll be more.
Yep, so I guess figure them footages out on them 3 driveway approaches. And then we'd owe Mariano for that.
Do you got, you have it in there, right?
Yep.
It's $5,630.
That's for all the steps and everything.
All the little stuff plus his driveway there.
Yeah, so we measured all those driveways already. So we would measure Kirsten's, the width was 11'11", and the length on it was 9'9". Jim's was 16'8" wide, and 10'2" length. And then the third one, are you talking, would be the alleyway approach?
Yeah.
So that was 11 foot 5 inches, 8 inches thick, and 17 feet wide. 11 foot 5 was length.
Do you have your cement calculator on you,
I
Mario?
believe I have here,
Because otherwise we could get that amount and add it on to this, right? That goes on to this bill.
is it 2,340?
For those three,
Yep,
how much was it?
2,340.
Was that just the approaches? Okay. And then like the extra patios should go to the property owners, right? So the approaches we'll take care of, but then if there was patios and stuff,
Yeah,
he'll build them.
That's all separate.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll need a bill from Mariano for that 2,340.
Yeah,
In order to pay, you gotta have an invoice.
yeah. Can you run him off, he's probably got, well,
He's
can you
got-
run off a copy? Mariano can make a bill on them square footages, you know, itemize them, all three of them, and then put that 2340 on the bill
For the city of Good Thunder.
to the city
Yeah.
of Good Thunder, yeah.
Yeah, yep. And I'll even amend my motion that we'll pay that amount too, along with the other motion. Once we get a bill for it.
Yeah, okay.
Get a second on that, or what do you?
Did you
Just
amend it,
just a friendly amendment.
friendly amendment, or,
Yeah.
I don't know.
or would we just?
Just say second, then it's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll second it. All in favor?
Alright.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. All right. Now, so then the only thing else left you gotta do is send the individuals their bill for their, like Jim's driveway, and everybody's step.
Yep.
Okay, all right. So we don't miss nothing, cause we missed the retaining walls when we designed this. So, all right. We'll get this figured out, Mariano, we'll get you a check there
As soon as we can.
Yep,
as
no
soon as
problem.
we can, within 2 weeks, put it that way.
2 would be fine, yeah.
Alrighty,
Thank you.
thank you.
Can I have,
Okay, we're down to,
Can I-
fire,
can
police
I have a copy of
report.
that?
Yep.
Oh, I got that now.
November had 7 calls, 6 medical and 1 CO alarm. Annual payroll, medicine, compass, what does that mean?
Med Compass, I think that's the,
That's tomorrow.
physical people,
Oh,
I
okay,
think
Yeah.
that's what they use,
alright.
used to anyway.
Did you get the checks sent?
Yeah, he's got
Cause I
'em.
signed them all already here, okay, alright.
For the fire department. She sent me a message what they had. They must have sent her a message.
For the sheriff.
For the sheriff.
Oh, okay, yep,
74 hours for November. Some calls for service were welfare checks, parking complaints, civil, suspicious circumstance, noise complaints, and ambulance assists.
since he's brought up parking complaints, now these people that haven't moved vehicles for 2 or 3 months during the fall, and now that are pushed in the snow, who tells them to move their vehicle?
I think Jake does.
We tagged them for towing before.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
my one neighbor there, the pickup hasn't ran for at least 3 months. It sat out in front, when now it's this deep in snow.
Mhm.
So they could park it alongside the garage, it don't need to be in the city street. So is there more than that one, Jake?
Yeah, that,
Yeah.
there's a resident on,
Right by the post office on Main Street.
that one moved.
Oh,
and
good.
Then he moved in my way. He moved out of the county's way and he moved in my way. There's a
Nice.
resident on Hubble. What street do you live on? Hubble.
Hubble.
Hubble. It's, by the school. She's got a van parked there.
Alright, thank you guys.
Thank you, Mariano.
In the same condition as that pickup. It's buried up to the windows, but
Can you make up something like this and say, you know, from the Good Thunder Street Department, your vehicle is in violation?
There's some up there, isn't
I
there?
bet you had some red or yellow stickers or something, I don't know. Yeah.
There was some-
I can do some
I
digging.
think there
Okay.
is.
Something.
Yeah.
I can do
Because there was some
digging.
fluorescent orange ones, because I saw them on a couple of vehicles a few years ago.
Right.
And it's just kind of a friendly, hey, I need to plow the street, so we'd like you to move it, and if you don't,
Yep.
We're
we're
told.
gonna tow it.
Yeah.
And you have the right to do that, anything that's in your way.
And we do have a parking ordinance.
You have the
that
power.
By law, they're supposed to be moved every 24 hours.
Right, right.
This has been there since August, September, when the leaves started falling.
Yeah.
So, I guess, yeah, if you get time so you can get the streets cleaned up, Jake, just
Yeah.
find them, post them on there, you know, and if they have a problem, just say, well, then we'll have it towed,
Yeah.
you know?
With that snow blowing stuff too, I talked to the Thunder and they're gonna have a different vendor come in with a Bobcat and he's gonna be moving the snow versus that guy who made a mess this last time around. So he's from Mapleton. So he can also help other people out too.
Okay.
There's a lot of people in search of
Yeah,
somebody
I
to help
think-
their properties out, their moms and dads, and
Yep. I don't know the gentleman's name. I never did ask it, but if he didn't come back to town, I wouldn't be sad.
It sounds like he isn't gonna do
There's
something, a lot
10
of
dump
church
truck
isn't,
loads in the city street there, that can't be left, right?
I don't think the
Well,
church ain't gonna
oh,
do it
the
anymore.
one, this guy's from Mapleton that
That's
did
another
that.
problem
No,
now.
he's-
Grant Barnard
sounds like
owns
he's
the
from
clinic
Clifford.
and the post
Okay, he can
office.
stay there.
Yes,
So that piles
absolutely.
and the sidewalk and that in front of there got pushed over in front of the church property.
God, I didn't see any of it.
Oh,
So
it was-
really, the snow off of
it
the
was
streets
painful.
goes
Oh.
onto the city sidewalk for like Grant Barnard. And on the south side of the church, or even on the west side, the snow ends up on the curbs and the sidewalks. And then it's the property owner that's gotta take care of that, or how are we gonna handle that?
Yeah, cause they fenced in that one area and they lost where they put all that snow.
Yep, yep.
And now the sidewalk, you have to walk around on the
Yeah.
street.
Well, I told Jake, or not Jake Garman, Richard Garman, that I will haul that pile out with my end dump. I'll just load it up there and get rid of it. But in the future, well, Tom told me that that guy from the restaurant, he pushed it right over onto protein sources behind the trailers. He just pushed it on other people's property, and he went in and told them, you're not at fault, but you can't be doing this. So where do they go with their snow?
I think snow removal is snow removal. Like, I feel like they should have a truck and a Bobcat, load it up and
Well,
take
they've
it
always-
away.
For the years, they've always taken the bar, restaurant, gas station and pushed it all into Bell Tower Park. That has caused problems when Barb owned that house. One time she got water in her basement, claiming it was that.
And it kind of leaves a mess at the Bell Tower Park in the spring.
Right. But, you know, if we ever get any development down there, we're gonna have to figure it out. We'll have to haul snow away.
Yeah, well, even though, you know, we're using George's lot, this fire department ends up on their lot, you know, and I mean, we've hauled it out of there during the winters
Right.
already, you
Yeah.
know. So, and that's only a good gesture to get rid of it.
And I
So,
say more, the post office always hired that done, and so did the telephone company. even before it changed hands and all that.
Oh, yeah.
But
But
there was,
they put it on the church lot
Right.
Yeah, they
because
pushed it
they
all.
didn't have that
Well-
playground equipment.
And, but, well, there again too, he said, Johnson complained that she's getting water in the basement, but it used to go across the road where the bell tower was.
Yeah.
And laid there and then hauled it out later, you know?
So I mean, you know, when you get 12 inches in one shot, I think that's pretty close to what we got, or 10, whatever. That's a lot of snow in one shot.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I guess you could disagree with me if you want, but I think we're talking about this is all businesses, right?
yep,
I think we
Well,
should,
we do Main Street. No charge to anybody,
I mean, I think we should haul it away.
you know? So I mean,
For them.
there again too, and like, they say, let's push it over on the bell tower lot.
Yeah,
And 2 weeks later, haul it away.
haul it away. Yep.
I mean, we do Main Street, you know, in front of the store and in front of the bank and,
So
all
like-
the others, at one time, all the stores, I mean, you did it all. And we hauled it away. And the fact, it was already, we always windrolled it right in the middle of the road.
that's right.
And
Yeah.
a day or two later, I had farm trucks coming into town
Yep.
and I was
Yep.
dumping snow like you would believe.
Yeah, and I don't know.
But that was automatic, the county plowed it right on the middle,
I hate it when Mapleton does that.
you know, the day they plowed it to the center of the street,
I know, but it's
Yeah.
such a mess to
you
begin
know?
with.
Well, like the daycare. Jason and I, we went down there and cleaned up after that guy. Well, that's all snow off the street
Yeah.
onto the sidewalk.
yeah, well, he pushed all the school stuff over the hill into those people's front yard.
Oh, he does the school too?
Yeah, he did the
Yeah.
school and he pushed it all into their front yard.
In their
Well, he
yard
pushes
or
it
in
both
that
ways.
street right away.
He pushes it both
No,
ways.
he put it in their front yard, cause they.
He pushes it both ways.
Yeah, they park on the street.
And then he leaves
right
windrow in the middle of the road.
away. He left crap all over the place.
Oh, he's terrible.
Yeah.
He's terrible.
We'll have to send him a notice if
But
anybody's
the
gonna
the bar won't be using, they'll be using Nick from Mapleton, and he's got a truck and a Bobcat. And I told them that they gotta go back to pushing on the bell tower like they had been doing. Cause at one time they were pushing up on Kellen's yard and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, pushes it in my yard.
So, we just,
I think we should haul it out as a city, I think as a service to our few
Well-
businesses that we have.
Yeah, I
keep.
can.
We have hauled out the bell tower last year, the last few years, we've hauled it out of there.
And I think we should
You
continue
know,
to do
yeah, it's
that,
fine with me, yeah.
You know?
Like I say, that's
And that'll just be the place to go with it, you have a big snow or whatever, that's where you go with it, that's where it's stored, and at earliest possible convenience, we get it hauled out. Somehow, I mean, I don't know how that goes either, but I don't think you're gonna get farm trucks in here anymore, you know,
no, no.
Well, Pete told us we could rent his
but, oh, that's true.
his truck, you know, to haul snow.
Well, I'd load the back third of my end up, snow should fly right out of it, shouldn't it? I don't want to road it.
Make
I
a
don't
mess.
think so, I don't.
Anyway,
Well, you got somewhere
take
flat
care of
to
it.
dump it.
Yeah.
Well,
I could-
I
I
told
could
Jake
even-
that what happened before, when the county comes in and cleans our boulevards, they take it down there in the grassy area, and the city went down there and pushed it all back, and then you could just turn around back up there, and that's where it all went. So,
Well, and Ron, I think, was gonna say, we should send whoever this, rocket scientist is that removed all the snow everywhere. If you're removing snow, maybe, cause somebody might hire him. We need, or maybe we can put something on the Facebook and whatever, like, and then send this guy something. You can't be putting snow on other
You don't
people's
clean- You don't
property.
clean up the street neither.
no.
No,
You gotta go down there every hour and clean the street.
you can't make a mess in your
So it
process.
doesn't
That's not good business.
Well, let's give him a-
him heck for leaving a little windrow.
He's
And that
got,
guy left a foot windrow down there,
They gave you heck?
On Front Street.
straight south of the bar. He left a foot windrow.
Oh, no, that's what he did in front of
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
See,
So he needs to be contacted. He can't do that.
Yeah.
So somebody's gotta talk to him,
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, the church wants to fire him.
right, yeah.
So,
As
so
he should.
anyway, what do we gotta do to make this happen? We have to have a motion now that, so that is, if you engineered this, you're not in trouble for engineering this?
I don't care.
I think we've just done it before, it's a practice, we're just gotta, when there's a day and you got snow and move, we just have to coordinate and figure it out. Pete's off, January, February, March, I think his truck's available if we need his truck or your end up or whatever.
Mm.
I wouldn't put snow in my end though.
Don't think so? You think it would hang up?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Even dumped in with a tractor, you know, I thought if you raise it up and you'd blow it in there, it'd be an awful solid and
Yeah,
rigid.
I don't know if I would.
I think I'm gonna try
I'm
the
so
back
scared.
2/3, and just try it.
There's only two kinds, you know.
We hauled it with a two-ton
Them that
truck,
have
so.
tipped over and none that are gonna.
We've
Plow
already
truck
got the
and
one
one
going.
ton.
I know you already
That'll-
got one
that'll haul
under
us
your belt,
all.
don't you? I'm gonna try just,
Yeah.
you know, I don't have to load it off, you know.
Right.
I can take 2 trips out of that little pile and just put it right on the ass end of it. And, you know, it raises up and goes out. And it is scary when that thing's way up there. It's tall. So, we'll get rid of it.
Alright,
Okay, yeah, I think
Keep
we
going.
should do that as a city for the businesses.
All right,
I agree.
that'll end a lot of problems for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well now, Tom. How about the Dakota Mart?
Same thing.
Same thing?
Yeah.
All
We're not clearing the
businesses.
lot, right? We're not clearing the lot.
Yeah,
All we're
but
doing
so
is
do we
moving the
haul it out
snow.
after the bell tower gets full? Do we let them put it in there for, say, half a dozen snowfalls, then haul it out?
Whenever he's got
Well, yeah,
time,
That's kinda what happened last year,
yeah.
the last couple of years.
Yeah. Well, the county took it a lot of times when they cleaned, didn't they?
No.
I thought they did.
Well, maybe a couple, but not,
Yeah.
cause me and Schulte were running trucks at one time. Cause we had, the elevators tandem,
Oh,
I
okay.
think, and then I was running the city's truck and,
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Brian
that's
was
right, they
loading.
got one too.
yeah.
All right.
As it is, Jake might have to kinda clean up the crap they've left behind the car wash to that pile that's there right now, just to kinda straighten it up, cause
Yeah.
All right.
there's like a road, and there's crap on the side, there's a pile, and
At least it'll get warm here.
It's
You'll get
little
taken,
bit.
you'll get taken care of.
During thunderstorms.
Yeah,
Sounds
and then it's
good.
gonna freeze.
Yeah.
All right.
But we're not cleaning lots.
Good to
No,
have.
how-
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no,
No,
this is
No,
after
no.
the fact.
Yeah.
This brings up another situation. If we take that snow that's on the south side of the daycare and on the west side of the church, how about this church?
So, where do they go with this snow now?
Well, they usually push theirs into the park.
yeah, I think Jake does, or, not Jake,
And I,
Jake,
And like the sidewalk,
No.
it's
Yeah,
blown with
Winter.
snow blower, so you don't
Oh.
have
I
to
think
see
yeah,
it.
I
Winters
used
does
to
it.
blow that
I
thing a
know.
lot.
Yeah.
I just
So,
saw
you know, so
Richard
it
Fitzsimmons
is what it
had
is.
his truck
Yeah.
up
I guess
there
we'll
at
deal
one
with it.
point,
Okay.
and I don't know.
cause
We'll
we'll
deal with it
usually
when
see
kind of
Jake
time
go
comes.
by our house and then go up there
Okay.
and start
You know.
Yep.
cleaning it.
All right,
I think they volunteer probably to do
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
I guess we're down to community comment. Council, anybody? Probably not. Unfinished business is rental license policy. I didn't bring mine with me.
Well, we might have to do that next month.
And then the fuel barrels, we had that here. Should we just tell Ashley to put them on the internet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just as instructed.
As instructed, yeah.
And then the property on 530 Sherman, this is a tax statement for it. What are we gonna do with it?
Pay it.
Oh, I mean the house.
Well, I know, the house, yeah.
Get rid
that's-
of it.
Get rid
What's
of it?
legal?
What?
What's legal with it? What can we do with the house?
Put it up for bids
Put it up for bids, just
with a $1,500 minimum or a $2,500 minimum or whatever?
$500.
Are you talking for moving it and not selling it?
Pardon?
You're talking moving it.
Moving it, yeah. And fill the hole in, you could really shape that lot up. You'd have enough fill on site. You
And-
could level that lot out.
And then do what with the lot?
It's intent for the well someday, or a silo, water silo.
Yeah, I mean, it'd work for that, yeah, you could put a tower, or, not a tower, but a silo, I
There's
mean,
plenty of room there for that.
they're all over, I mean, they're,
I was thinking a splash pad.
Well, how about,
I don't think that'd be a good spot right there. Not by protein
It's
sources
right-
and
it's
semis
right-
and,
Right behind his store, but they go splash around and then.
yeah, but I
Get hit by
agree with
semis.
Sarah on the dirt and the bees wings.
Fun Thomas's, no.
But you know, we have adequate water supply, but would we ever, with all this infrastructure and this Build Back Better, would we ever apply for trying to get a new tower?
Sure, good.
put it up over there.
Just,
We really overpaid for that lot then at 50,000 if we're gonna give that house away. You know, I supported that project when we were gonna rent it out, cause we'd maybe be able to pay for it back, give our
Yeah.
taxpayers their money back. But I can't support tearing a house down and having a 50,000.
But we can't take and, go against the largest taxpayer in Good Thunder's wishes of not having anybody in there. And
I just wish that was discussed with us
Well,
before we
it's
did
not
it, you
written in
know?
any of the, purchase agreements or anything about that. That's all basically hearsay.
Well, no, you asked Tom, and he told you, yeah, they're under the impression that nobody ever lived there again.
Yeah, but they also, in their purchase agreement, said that if we didn't buy that lot, they wouldn't sell you the land that you'd already built on. That's written in their purchase agreement. I mean, I stood behind the thing because I thought we could pay our taxpayers.
Yeah, that was,
You know, but if we rented it out for 5 or 7 years, it wouldn't cost the citizens anything. Now we're gonna give a house away and have a $50,000 empty lot.
yeah, but you were gonna try to do that right across here for $30,000.
Well, that's when we thought we could use it for something else.
Well, that's what, this one is the same thing, same difference.
We'll probably never use it for a water tower. That's what, you know, the water guy's telling us.
You know, we've got our I under control. There's some properties now that could be built up in houses. You could probably put a dozen houses in. You know, as long as our lagoons can handle all the waste. So, you know, do we have an adequate tower if we added, say, 12 houses? Do we have adequate tower?
I don't know, the biggest thing we need is we need that filtration plant taken care of.
Yeah.
That's 10, 15 years probably.
And could you ever do a filtration plant down there instead of digging a big hole in the wall here and taking that all out? If you went with them cylinder things, you know, versus a spray system, would it be more economical to do that down there? I don't know, I'm just.
Brian Severin said he should talk to us because he said everything will fit right where the old filter plant is right now. He
Yeah,
said
yeah.
everything will fit right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you'd be building another building down there, you know.
Pardon?
You'd be building another building. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with this building.
Right, but, you know, there's a hole in the roof, we gotta get
Well,
that fixed.
that's gotta get fixed, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So-
Jake will do that next week if they don't snow.
I think we should.
What'd you say?
Throw right up there. My opinion is, I think we should be rid of that house
Well,
and be done.
you
with
gotta
it.
get rid of it or take care of it,
I know,
one or the other.
and it's, what did you say, 30,000 to take care of it?
I don't have a
Make
big
it rentable?
Probably.
35 to make it rentable.
Then you're only out $15,000. Get rid of it.
You know,
have
I
to
just-
buy.
Just be done.
I just was walking down there and I don't understand why they're so worried about somebody living there. I mean, you got people all around that get
They
corn
just do.
stuff and noise
They
and
just do.
nobody
they just
complains
do.
about it, do they?
Yeah.
They don't
Well, apparently
complain.
They must have worries that somebody is or has, because they just do. I don't know,
Huh.
they just do.
The thing is, Kellen and them and Jay across the street are actually closer than that house is.
That's what I walk that way every time and I'm like, God,
And we
they're
got
way
3 rental
closer.
properties right behind there with families. I mean, to me, it doesn't make any sense.
And we can't forget the fact that we pushed to make this all happen, to get a gas station.
Oh yeah, I know.
That's the reason that we pushed so hard here, and that's why we negotiated with them. And why they're worried about that, I don't know for sure, but they are. They really are. They would just not like to operate with somebody living in that house.
I would have never supported the purchase if it was gonna be that way. My whole thought was that we could rent it and pay our citizens back, so we'd have it, if we ever needed it, it'd be a free lot, not a $50,000 lot.
Well, that's my opinion, that we need to be rid of that house. It's gonna be just never ending.
Yeah, I
Even if you had somebody living there that was happy living there and they never complained, and there was never a problem there, it's never gonna end.
See, and then now the thing is, I got the parking for that place.
You know,
So there's no parking off-street for that house now, so they'd have to make a driveway from the east or or widen out the approach so they can park on this, like the south side of the oak tree. So
That wouldn't be
there's
that
no
bad.
there's no off-street parking available right at the present time now.
They could park on Sherman Street, or they could put a garage up on the
Go around.
east side of the house.
I know where you're coming from, that we could make our money back, but then who was saying that we'd have to get into the rental?
We can't rent it, that was what's changed our minds. We'd have to.
Was
have
it the
one-
lawyer?
We have to have
One
a third.
rental.
We have to have a city we have to have a purpose, a governmental
Governmental
purpose.
purpose. We could rent it, but we'd have to have a third party vendor taking care of the implementation.
No, I thought we would have to have a special economic development kind of a thing, a rental, I mean, it was
A
another.
rental authority or something,
Or, yeah,
wasn't
an
it?
authority, some kind of authority that we were told that it's not worth it for one property. By either Kennedy or Burkhardt.
Yeah, I think it was Kennedy.
One of the two told us that.
Yeah.
And that's when we discovered that we probably aren't gonna be able to rent it. And then, you know, it all got blossomed into dealing with the Fitzsimmonses and all of that, you know, trying to make a gas station site work. Not losing sight of that. Remember, that was the initial reason here, so.
And after that, putting that gas station there in the fall, and when they're back in them bends, it's very dirty.
Yeah.
I'm glad we have a double door entry. The damn bees wings, they sit there and they circle in front of the door. There's not a tree on the property, but we've hauled out pickup loads of leaves. They all blow over the wall,
Yeah.
so they're there. And my gutters on the south side are sitting about that full of dirt right now, just from this past fall. So it's not clean living there, you know. The fuel pumps, we try to clean them off all the time. I can about imagine what the top of that awning
Yeah.
looks like. That's all full of bees wings. So it's not.
Well, it blows around, it's down in my cars in the driveway, so I mean, it's a dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Our
not-
our gutters are full of it.
Mine too.
Yeah.
So I mean, we can come up with more ideas, put it for sale, for moving.
Think about it, it's 9:30 tonight,
Yeah.
sideline it for another month, give it some thought. Is that all right with everybody?
Yeah.
All right, monthly, new business is under monthly utility increases, and that would be that, landfill dump one, right?
Which one?
MWPC,
The tipping rate,
pardon?
the tipping rate?
Yeah, there, yep. So I mean, that's the way it is, right? Yep. Do we have to approve it? I suppose we'd have to make a motion.
I suppose.
Or is it
Yeah.
just letting us know?
Everybody read it, then it would be going up, increase by $3.23 per ton, and the new tipping fee will be 101.5 cents a ton, January 1st of 2022. So with that being said, somebody wanna make a motion to approve the new tipping fees?
I'll make a motion to approve the new tipping fee.
Someone second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
I'll abstain.
Tom will abstain, so, all right, motion passed. All right, I'm just gonna throw this out here, and I think Sarah already mentioned something about it. Jake isn't eligible for PTO until January 10th or 15th or whenever. He builds it though, right, per pay period?
Yeah, he should
So
be.
he's building it. Well, with the tragedy that happened in his family, would we ever do anything for him to advance his PTO before the 6 months period? Just putting it out there. We didn't have a personnel meeting tonight,
No.
because there's only one, and,
I want us to maybe consider that, and then I'm also worried You know, back when the whole COVID thing started, we had that 2-week quarantine time and they had to stay home and we had the funds to pay them, I think, with the COVID money back then. So now I worry, like, Jake isn't eligible, what if he got sick with that and had to stay home? And somebody else would have to stay home. I'd like to see them get that, you know, I know we have the COVID funds from it. Is it possible, do we want to think about that too? If our employees in the next few months need that, I would like them to see the same benefit that our previous employee got from that.
Well,
Instead of
maybe-
having to use all their PTO up. And then for Jake, I just felt like, you know,
Well, I should back it up maybe first. Jake, would you need to use your PTO in this time of your career?
No, I honestly just want to keep building it, just because
Okay.
it's
Okay.
That's
it's
where I
only,
guess I should have started.
no, and I appreciate you guys thinking about it, I really do, and I reached out to Ashley right away, asking, is there anything in contract saying that we get 3 days of funeral leave, or not for your cousin's nephew, but for
I thought,
immediate
I thought we
family?
had
Is there
something for
anything like
that.
that? Because at past employers, there is stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering.
It
And
probably was, Sarah, but everything went to PTO. We took all that other stuff.
Yeah, the
we had all
bereavement got
PTO.
taken
Comp
out.
time, sick time, all went to PTO.
so if I was banking 4 hours of PTO pay period, I'd be like, yep, I want to take some of that. But I'm only banking 1.54 hours of pay period. I'm not. I could have a sick kid at home and I need my 16 hours. Right now I have 16 hours,
Okay.
2 days worth.
Is that until your 6 months is up?
I can't use that until my 6 months
But then you get 4.32,
after a year.
after a year?
That's what it says in my personal policy.
Yeah, there's a year, and then 2 to
I think-
5, and then 5 to 10, and 10 to 20. There's different rates based on longevity.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't love it, but
It's in your personnel policy.
I know. I said I don't love it.
And I don't know that we can change anything outside of budgetary or personnel policy changes. I don't know.
Yeah. And talking with Jennifer Casey's, if you get COVID, you are excused from work for 10 days, and you can use your PTO. No, you don't get paid, I don't think. And I know a kid that helps me out from the co-op, he got excused from work all on his own. Unless he got it, then he gets reimbursed for his own. Him and another guy worked side by side, the other guy got diagnosed with it. He got sent home for 7 or 10 days, what it was. But he didn't get no reimbursement for that.
And the previous street department guy got paid for 2 weeks while he was off.
And I just feel like maybe we're in
When
a,
was that last year when we had that COVID
I'm
funds
not
all
sure
there?
how that ran. I'm not 100% sure where that
but
money.
I think it's worth looking into because I think we still have money from that, and I think we're getting more. I read the paper, Amboy's getting some, and I think we're getting like a second, where some cities didn't apply for it, so then they're doing like a second disbursement. So maybe just food for thought. If you know, I hate to see our.
Myself, I'm not against it, I don't know.
I just hate to see
You bring
them.
up a good point, I don't know if we really can, but really, we can do anything,
Yeah,
you know?
we're a little different than you know.
We can actually do anything, you know, at the council, but,
Oh, we gotta stay on top of it. I mean, if there's monies available out there, we gotta go for it. And not just for this.
There's money
that's
I
what I
think
was
we
talking
already have
before.
injected, like 30,000 more came in already. It's sitting here
Yeah.
already.
I think you're right.
I think you're right,
A couple months
too.
ago, we got another 30 grand. Of-
Yeah, she said we got it. We don't know why, but we got it.
But what was that basically for then?
It was more state money. They sent out another round of monies.
But I mean,
For
how,
what?
as a city, is that supposed to be dispersed?
I think it's supposed to be anything COVID related, including
I think you're right, I think it just needs to be for just what you're describing.
yeah.
Because the first time we bought computers and got everything set
Yep.
up, there was things that would.
Yeah.
So I'd like to look into that because if you know, for the one that's sick now, I feel like I want to do that. And if he gets sick in a week or a month, or as long as this crap is going on and we have the money for it that's supposed to be used for that, I'd like to see that happen. So
Right, yeah.
I
So if
agree.
we get sick after tonight, do we get it?
no.
Get a whole nother year's pay.
Oh crap.
No, I would agree with you, Sarah, I think we should do that, we should
Well, let's research it, see
Okay.
if it could be done. Go
I'd like
for
to do that, okay.
it. Okay, anything else under new business?
I would like to start first of all, does anyone else think we need 2 meetings a month?
Need to what?
2 meetings a month.
I think we leave it open
Pretty tough to
and we
make
can
them as it is.
assign it.
Oh, that's right, we discussed that last time.
Yep,
didn't we? He said
yep.
we'd just do that.
Yep.
Okay, that's
So,
right.
I mean, if you say we need to meet in 2 weeks, then we'll meet in 2 weeks.
Got it.
Well-
But then we're not tied down to meeting no matter what,
Right.
and getting paid
That's
for
right. I forgot we
not doing a
discussed
whole
that.
lot.
And again, some of these bills like Mariano's, if Tom would have amended it, he'd have had to wait. Well, then if we could say tonight, okay, let's have a meeting to get this taken care of.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There may, if we get into some projects, we may have to have
yeah.
2,
Yeah.
so.
But we can call
We've done that before, called special meeting.
Yeah.
them. Right.
Definitely.
They don't all last 2.5 hours, you know, when we have those other ones. It's not so bad.
What was the other thing, Tom?
Oh, the other thing we need to decide how we're gonna get Ashley up to speed here.
Oh, mentor wise?
Mentor wise, the lawyer suggested a consultant.
I guess I haven't, that was just, did we just meet a couple weeks ago with that?
Yes.
It didn't, I was gonna say, it wasn't that long ago. So I haven't heard from her if she's called anybody yet, or are we supposed to call somebody?
We have never given anybody authority to do anything,
Okay.
you know what I mean, as a council.
He just said that's what we should do, because that was our workshop.
Yeah.
That was our
Yeah,
discussion.
Yeah, we were supposed to discuss it. at
I
the
say
meeting.
we get in contact with that Wendell.
Okay.
Don't you think?
I agree, I mean, I think that'd be the way to do it.
And if he can't help, I think he'll know an outside source that could.
Right, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So
If
I
we're
think,
gonna do
yeah,
something, let's get it going.
yeah.
Well, that's my point, I
Yep,
mean,
right.
let's make it happen, so we would have Ashley then call him and discuss that with him. I mean, we need not just somebody up on Banyan, we gotta have somebody that understands how to put, you know, documents together and spell words and, I mean, there's a lot there, that she needs some tuning up. And so if we can get that kind of a person to be in here and you know, just help her, just make her the clerk. Hopefully she'll be able to go clerk at Eagle Lake or something after here, you know what I mean? Train her, you know,
Why do we want to try and send her somewhere else?
I was just a compliment. hoping
I know,
maybe,
but
you know,
I don't want to find another
Well,
employee.
in
sucks.
business, you always train your successors. You always want people to be moving up, and so that's the thing.
Yeah.
With that, could we also ask that Wendell if he'd have somebody that, on staff that would be good at writing grants? Or apply for grants?
Or, yeah,
So during that
time.
X
period.
amount of time, both of them could be in there writing playground grants,
Infrastructure.
Yeah,
filtration grants, our school, taking over our
Yeah,
school grants.
anything, streets, water,
Yeah,
sewer,
Yeah,
Actually-
anything.
everything.
that's a very good idea, because even if the person in here doesn't have all that ability, they can touch people there who do.
Right.
You know what I mean? They know people then that can get all this happening.
What did you say Lake Crystal got for sidewalks, was it?
$18,000,
$18,000?
I think.
Yeah. How can a town of that, 4 times bigger than us at least?
You made the right telephone call and got a hold of the right person.
So.
Evidently, I don't know, that's,
But now, well, we need 2 blocks coming up the hill right here. One would be on the city side, one would be that. Even that guy next to your property, he wants a sidewalk.
I can see
You
it,
think
Bill.
that's true?
Yeah, I don't
retaining
know,
wall's
there's a
falling
big
down.
ass tree in the way and,
But he wants that gone.
yeah.
Yeah.
The retaining wall's falling down.
Yeah, and he wants that gone too.
Having gone, yeah, well, I can see why he wants to have it done then.
But again, is that his retaining wall or is that the city's retaining wall?
Well, that's,
If you get into the sidewalk, you would probably put him a new porch retaining wall, wouldn't you?
well, or,
Yeah.
Depends on how the grade works out there,
Yeah.
'cause it's some kind of weird little grade there.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So anyway, I mean, if that's, then, I guess I'll just make a motion that Ashley goes ahead and contacts
Wendell?
SCSC, I guess it is, South Central Service Corp.
Yes. I always
And,
forget what it's called.
Talk this over with him, explain that we want her to be our clerk. And so, put somebody here that can help her. And if it takes 3 months or whatever it takes.
All right, Tom made the motion, someone second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carried. Anything else?
I think that was it.
Miscellaneous? I have just two things. One is, do we wanna continue that virtual thing there?
Oh, that was the other thing.
Well, then you bring it up.
The people like it, we asked the question in a meeting, and there was X amount on there, and they all liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's, you know, what interest are they taking in their city when you can sit in your pajamas and, video the council meeting? But, you know, wouldn't it show you're more interested in your city if you came up here inside here? But if you got locked down for COVID, yeah, you'd have
That's
to
a whole
go back.
different story.
Yeah.
Well, some people can't, cause I talked to some people that I thought would be great future council people, and they just said they're so busy with kids. But if it's on there, they can at least
Watch it.
watch it, observe, try to learn a little bit what's going on, see if it's even interesting to them, you know?
The only thing I think we need to do is maybe manage it a little better as council members, because sometimes people take too much of our time on there. I mean, I think one night it was 45 minutes.
Well, it's because it's so easy, you're just sitting there like he says in your pajamas.
Somebody had the floor. But I mean, I think maybe when we go to them, just say, okay, you're on,
You have your
keep it to
3
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Keep it to 3 to 5
Well,
minutes.
Your 3 minutes, it's right here.
Yeah, but it's hard, but holy moly, I mean, I think 2 or 3 times in a row was a good half an hour. It was like, okay,
Yeah, we got it tonight, it's 9:45.
I know.
Amboy doesn't have it.
You
right?
find a way to do it.
I don't think Amboy or Brennan, I don't think either one of them do, I don't know. I don't know about
I
all of
think-
them.
All the big towns have
Some
I
it.
think Mankato does, so.
Oh, yeah,
Some-
Mankato always. will.
We even
They had
zoomed
it from day
into
one.
we zoomed into a funeral the other day, cause we couldn't make it there,
Mhm.
so.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
I can see that.
zoomed into a
That's
wedding.
different.
But there's there's towns that have gotten away from it that were on it. You know,
Yeah, yeah. that's
Well-
I
my
mean,
point.
it just,
I don't know what the reason getting away from it is,
I feel like we got the money to do it,
Because it's impersonal, that's why.
you know.
I guess I just put it out there for thought. We can
I'll think about it.
think it for next month.
Okay.
The other thing, and right now I can't think of it, economic development. We've tossed this around for 6 months.
Wasn't that Mike guy gonna help us out with that?
Are we gonna try to initiate one of them?
I thought it was supposed to be looked into already.
That's was my.
Same thing with getting something ready.
I dug out all the paperwork that one day that we had gotten from Burkhart and Kennedy. It had the whole thing, and it said we have to decide our purpose and how much we want to fund for. That's like the first step. Decide purpose and how much we want to put into it, and then we start a whole process with the auditors and the attorneys.
Well, let's
So,
talk for a minute about then the purpose. Let's talk a minute about that. What is the purpose? What would be the purpose of the Economic Development Fund in Good Thunder?
Trying to bring business to town, right?
And keep the
Or
businesses we
keep-
have.
keep some existing
Both.
business in town? I mean,
Or is it to develop and try to get another 12 households in town?
All the above.
I think they said that was a different thing, like a housing authority is a little bit different from EDA, economic development, I don't know for
Yeah.
sure, I can't remember what he told us that.
I mean, that's,
well, you know, that's $790,000 that sits there and makes us what?
Well, that's something we
Nothing.
definitely gotta look into, where the hell we can invest
And I
in.
did mention to the community bank if they wanted to throw a bid out in for this, you know, and I thought that they might be, well, he responded, and I thought they were gonna have something, but, you know, you can't get nothing done right now.
right.
Everybody is so darn busy, you can't get nothing done. So, my thoughts are, you could take, say you took $290,000, you still got $500,000 in here. And you could divide that up into some 25,000s or 50,000 or 100,000. And like Tom says, could we do something with that for housing now? That brings up a whole new thing.
I don't know, I mean,
Don't you think there's developers out there, if you let somebody know you got, like, what's the league got out here, 7 acres?
I think it's almost 7 acres.
I mean,
They might, but they're pounding them in Mankato, they're
Right.
developing whole fields.
I mean, it just, other
But our
cities are,
lots are so cheap.
Yeah, but lots aren't cheap over there.
Where?
Anywhere in Mankato, they're
No,
not.
that's what I mean, you
Right.
know,
Ours would be cheap.
what do you think a lot goes for, say, 100 by 150 by 2 or whatever?
60,
100?
70,000
70,000.
Okay.
with
so-
the assessments. And now, like in this new subdivision by 22 there by John Deere, they're $100,000. Across from Proville, they're over $100,000.
When you said with assessments, so there's assessments plus,
Well,
or the assessments are in that 60?
it's in there.
Okay,
So
all right.
your street and your water sewer and all that is all in there.
You know,
And normally the city picks up that portion, like say a developer came in and wanted to do lease thing,
well, that's why we used to do
Yeah.
it. I
Yeah,
mean,
we
it's a
pick
matter, you
up
gotta
the-
get a developer to do it.
right?
You know, the
that,
city did not do that years ago.
that field
We
there,
financed it.
if you looked at that, you could put a horseshoe around that whole thing there, you know? You could put a few houses in the center and you could build all around the outline there, you know? You could probably get a dozen houses in there almost. So,
But you'd have to have a realtor or a developer that would be interested in doing it.
Just talk to someone like Drummer and see if they're interested. I wouldn't talk to Wilcon or anything, but
I don't know if I should say this, but Lee found out that being with Conley in the nursing home and any revenues that are generated, that's where he's at right now. He just found that out in the last,
But I'm not
3
even
weeks.
necessarily saying that though, I mean, but
I didn't know.
if we think we need housing in town, there are other acres around that a guy could throw something at.
well, you know, Terry would sell from Fisher's
Right.
all along that road. He would sell that off.
But I mean, you still gotta get a developer that's gonna come in and say, yeah, I'll take it, but you gotta have a guy that's gonna finish it. So we ain't sitting there with another $150,000 in the hole with a dead end road and sewer and water that don't go anywhere.
That sounds like a gas station, and I can't. get
Well, I'm
anybody to
just,
come to work
I'm
at.
just saying though, but you gotta have somebody that's gonna finish, you know.
But I mean, so, you know, if you went from Fisher's out there, you could probably get 6 nice sized lots facing the south, that would be ideal.
is
except for
that
being
not
on-
wet? That's not wet over there? I mean, the rest of that lot's really.
No, the only part that's really wet is right out the end of 13,
Okay.
right there, it's very wet. But otherwise, that whole south side is, no. I
There's
don't know
water
if
and
it's-
sewer
They
in the end
tiled
there.
it too.
Yeah, straight north of Fisher's is like a knoll there. That's the high spot of that farm is straight north of
Yeah.
Fisher's. Even that where the cul-de-sac would possibly go, that's always dry. I mean, I've never seen water sitting out there in the 25 years of life.
I mean, I could reach out to Drummer and see if they're interested in anything like that. It's just that they're
Concentrated in Mankato, it's
concentrating
close.
because they're.
Well,
I mean, they're
that's
putting
like, at least we'll know something though.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, people keep talking about getting businesses in town. We're damn lucky he's doing what he's doing. Cause, I mean, as far as getting a dentist, a lawyer, we've had all of them.
Yeah.
They last a year and they're gone.
We had a doctor too, when the clinic was built, you
Yeah.
know, way back
Yeah.
in 50.
You know, I mean,
There's
It's
a lot of
better-
businesses.
It's a
in
better
town.
community. Our asset is housing, but we just have to have a place to put them up.
well, that's the whole thing. But I mean, that's, if we're gonna do it, we gotta get a hold of somebody that's interested and we'll finish it. That's the big thing. You know, like otherwise, we're gonna end up with a grocery store.
How did your dad's little subdivision down there, who owns all that now?
So there's like 4 lots here where Al and Beth Seabrands used to live. That's
Yep.
all split up. Grandpa divided that into lots. This was Grandpa's also, but that got traded off to my aunt many moons ago. But there's still 2 lots in here, right here, and right here. And that's potentially gonna be a house for my brother and sister-in-law that Mike Drummer could potentially be doing in the spring. Whether they pull the trigger on that or not, they've got plans for the house, and they have plans, since my sister-in-law is Mike Drummer's accountant, secretary, in the office for him for many years now. He'll be doing all the dirt work there and the development on the house. So that's what's going on there. Those two lots could potentially be sold
Well,
to
how
Aaron
about
and
back
Shayna.
in there where the house is there any more, or they,
That's-
Seabrand's bought them all up, right?
Seabrand's bought all those lots,
Yeah.
so that got all changed over into trade over.
So that guy that bought that house from Seabrand's, would he ever sell any lots off, does anybody know?
See, and that's the thing, his driveway would cut right through all of them. How Al and Beth built that is basically so those lots are kind of hoarded to themselves.
Yeah.
Because that driveway, all those lots sit in there east and west. They're lengthways. They're not like a nice square, easy access lot. Plus they're on top of that hill, you know.
Yeah.
So getting a driveway in there around them would be a pain.
The other thing is timing is really weird right now, because I think this housing bubble's gonna burst again, so if you go and put a whole bunch of infrastructure in place, it might not ever get built out, because they're thinking 2023
Well,
is.
that's what I'm saying, so I mean, you gotta know somebody that knows something,
2023.
willing to invest.
It'd have to be a fast moving deal to
Yeah.
get them houses up and built to,
And you know, if we could build something that was $20,000 or $30,000 cheaper than Mankato for the same type of house, they would sell them, because people only qualify for X amount of dollars. You know, like I said, Henniker split foyer up behind Home Depot right now is $250,000 for a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. So it could be 4 or 2 when you finish the basement, but it's a split foyer. It's got a very small 2-stall garage, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, living room.
$250,000.
$250,000.
Jesus. Don't get much for that, do you?
No, and that house used to be 69,000 when we started.
It's crazy.
So, let's talk about what can we do for a business. What can we do to either attract or improve the current businesses that we have?
That's the sticker.
You were looking at
We've
that
tried everything.
old LP lot down there. Did you ever call anybody's?
I didn't, I just looked at it the one day to see if I thought you could knock that crown off of
Yeah.
there, and I think you could knock
You
it
could,
off.
yep. And, you know, that would be water and sewer there, because the stickler for, it's like, say, the body shop. They want to be out here. Well, you know, I was stepped it off this summer one time, and there was quite a lot of footage there to provide water and sewer to
Yeah.
one business. And
Yeah.
that's in that corner where it's kinda low too,
Yeah.
you know? That west of Kelvin there gets kinda wet.
I mean, if there were other opportunities, you know, besides just the one, I mean, then maybe it would pay, but boy, you're right, I can't see doing it for one.
I know, yep.
I mean,
But
and
you
I
know,
am,
you could take over the school too, you have the opportunity to maybe get some stores or some offices in that school building too, you know?
There's a guy just on the same block here, wants a building to rebuild square body shitties.
Yeah, he's asked about this building, if he could turn it back into a body shop, you know? Him and another guy.
Yeah. So, there's some potential out there, but how do we help that potential?
I mean, I thought about the school myself too. I'll say it right out, I'm not really in favor of getting that school. However, when I look at that 700 grand it's sitting, or whatever it is in our investments, you know, we could spend the $1,500 and fix the damn school. You know what I mean? I mean,
Right.
fix it, so we don't have to worry about the future.
I lost you.
I mean,
Dollar amount.
we could take the dollars that we have in investments just sitting there. If there was truly good potential, we could fix that school up so we don't have to worry about the future repairs. It would be done. You know what I mean?
Well,
If it needs a roof, we got the money to roof it. If it needs this, we have that money. It's all there. You know, if it would ever pay off, you know?
see, that's what I said, this 790 is the people's money. So, if you.
But they don't wanna throw it away neither.
No, I know, but you
That's
can
all.
also offer a community center. And, maybe this guy could go in the old shop building, put the door back in there, that create $1,000 a month payment there, you know, to generate some money. If you could turn all that front property into man caves, put an overhead door in there, and you could generate some money there. Right now, there's so much money, people will do stuff like that. In 2 years from now, will there be? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Jim's got a good idea. You could pick 6 man caves out of that old addition. Just take them windows out, put a self-contained heater air conditioner by each unit, and you could eliminate that big ass boiler, right?
Right?
Well, it
And-
sounds like that's gotta be eliminated anyway.
You know, and get rid of that.
Yeah.
And again, here's the people's money, like you said.
Yeah.
And then there, what did he say about a big heater, air conditioner for the gym? Didn't that guy say something about the cost of that once?
I don't know if he said the cost of it.
That was way the hell up there. I mean, that was in 6 figures, wasn't it? Heater and air
Yeah.
conditioning.
Well, that one thing we got from that one guy scared the hell out of
But
you.
that was heating and air conditioning, cause the boiler ain't worth a shit down there anyway.
Yeah, I know.
But, you know, Scott Quisk has got the Vernon Center School, and he's got a list of people a year long looking for places to store stuff. Just like those front 6 rooms we talked about,
Yeah.
warehouse space.
You know, if you could just utilize them for warehouse space,
That would pay your overhead.
street entry level, you know. Put, like I say, a self-contained heater, air conditioner unit in them, and that would pay your overhead. And you rent out the old, wood shop, that I call it, for one more. Say, I don't know, would people pay $1,000 a month for that one room,
They probably would,
or 800?
and even the way he's doing some of his stuff, they're moving stuff in and out and storing it for different people. He's got customers paying $6,000 a month to store stuff. He's got 2 guys that run and they charge $50 an hour to unload trucks. They're moving pallets in at $6 a piece per month, and they're constantly moving pallets around.
You know, Jay Winters has made the comment, can we afford it? And I think about that a lot of
I
times.
do too.
So, yeah, would you take some of this money and put a roof on it, put a heater, air conditioner in the gym, and then self-contained on them other ones? Would you burn up all this and have it done? And then it generates that revenue, say 800 times 7. You know, that old shop building, and then them 6, just say 800 for them, what's that, 8 times 7?
5,600.
Yeah, okay, 10 months, that generates $57,000. And then, so you're gonna have, 57, you're gonna have almost $70,000 a year income. 68, whatever.
Yeah. Plus you'd end up with a community center.
And this building could be sold for someone to use as a
Right.
business or whatever.
Yep,
Another shop or whatever.
yep.
Got a brand new roof on it, got decent parking lot, so.
So, I mean, there's potential there. And this is the town's money, this ain't our money, this is the town's
That's why we should
money.
probably have a meeting,
Well, there again too, we gotta have meetings, so you don't
Yeah.
get around it.
public comment meeting,
But
public,
again, you know, in April or May, it's gonna be done.
yeah.
So, if we can sit here in January and we can start moving on this, you know?
I mean,
I wonder what kind of stuff they're moving, is it really heavy stuff? But if that floor is adequate to roll,
Well, they've got stuff from plastic tanks to pallets of bolts. I mean, it's just soup to nuts.
I was just wondering if that floor with that tunnel under it would, like a payloader, but it'd have to be an awful short one, because its roofs are so low.
It'd just be an LP forklift is what they're using.
Yeah.
I mean, they pick up a lot of weight too.
I would doubt it's any heavier than 4-inch, you know, concrete.
And again, the tunnel could be filled in, if you get rid of the
That's where your
steam heat.
sewer and water is.
Well, that's right.
no, we can't fill that in.
If you wanna go to the bathroom, you're gonna have to leave that there.
Well, I mean, it's hard for me to have an economic development authority for business, because unless you're gonna really put some money out there, you know, what's 50 grand to a business nowadays?
Oh, I know it.
That's nothing.
Nothing, no.
I mean, it's not even worth looking at hardly, you know what I mean?
It would, there'd have to be
It would,
200,000 and maybe 25,000.
right.
You know, for existing, like, just say it for, Grant Barnard wanted to do a little improvement. You could help him out, or if the locker wanted to do a little improvement, whatever.
So maybe we do for existing businesses and more housing. You know, and we can always change it down the road.
Because it is a loan, it's not a grant, so.
Well, the money that's in there gets repopulated by the money paid back into it. You know, it's not where we feel it every year with 100 grand.
Right.
It's whatever we put in there gets pushed out and gets paid back slowly. And if someone goes under, then that money's gone.
What would it cost to tear the school down? Anybody have an idea?
Oh,
But
it's
they
in
had
that.
600,000 in there.
To do what, Tom?
Tear the old school down.
They had it in the budget
I
to
thought
tear
they
it
had
down.
600,000 in there.
For just the old part?
The whole thing,
Oh, the whole thing?
make it bare.
Well, the school would do that.
Yeah, well, they only had like 150 or something like that.
Oh, no, it was a lot more.
I don't remember.
Yeah, but it was for all the sites, wasn't it? That big?
No, it was over $1 million for like 3 sites.
Yeah.
How much was it?
Like over $1 million, 1.5.
Over $1 million for all three
It
sites.
was like $1.2 million or something for the whole
Something like
shit
that.
works.
I mean, to me, the gym and that kitchen is just such a waste that we don't have anywhere for anybody in this town to gather. That's the part I don't. I would say it's a shame to get rid of it.
It's only a 20-year-old building.
Pardon?
No, that gym is only 20 years old, basically, 22, right?
Yeah, it's not very old.
Yep.
Was it
But it just-
96,
But it-
7?
You know, yeah, I mean, you said, you know, the rent is gonna pay for stuff, but it's gonna cost you, you're almost gonna have to have another employee.
Well, if it's just as we're talking about.
If it's
not
strictly storage,
necessarily.
maybe not, but if you're gonna have kitchen and community center and all that stuff, you're gonna have somebody on duty all that, while that door's unlocked. It'd be just like the
Yeah,
skating rink,
probably
you
would.
gotta have people there to take care of it.
Well, we did talk to that janitor about, you know, being on kind of call or working a day here and there to make sure. there was-
Good luck.
Yeah, but he mentioned
Yep.
that he was interested, I don't know.
No, you just,
And that damn boiler runs all summer long.
Yeah, well, that would have to come out of there.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have to go.
Yep.
That's probably,
You know, the one thing is if we close off, say, the old 1950 section, like say Scott Quist wanted to rent that entire thing for storage, he would just pay us and he would maintain employees to run that whole end of it. You know. He'd pay the city whatever it is a month rent.
right.
like I say, I don't know, I mean, if,
Well, I guess I might as well just say it all. I don't wanna, if we did that down there at that school, it can't be just some hodgepodge piece of shit looking thing. It's gotta have to be designed to look nice and all be done at once. Get it done, you know?
I like that picture that guy drew out.
I don't know, I don't remember that one.
That guy the one that scares the shit out of you.
Oh, with all the big
He
numbers?
had-
Phases too.
Oh, he had an entrance with a thing over the front there, right?
Oh,
Yeah, they had landscaping. they had-
Yeah, landscaping and all that,
oh,
yeah.
I don't mean that, I just mean though, you know, you don't just cut one hole in the old part. I mean, you design, you figure it out,
Put 6
and
doors in.
and you put all of it one time, one
Oh, yeah.
construction, you know what I mean, so it's done.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
don't
yeah.
have this, you know,
No, you wouldn't,
piecework kind of thing, you know?
piecework, yeah,
Yeah.
you would just go and do it,
Yep,
yep.
yep, and that's what I'm saying is that 700 grand probably pretty come close to doing that, you know, all of that. Maybe it wouldn't do everything perfectly, but you don't have to re-roof the whole roof, I don't think yet, do you?
I don't think
Well,
so, no.
Like I say, if you look at the tile up there, that roof's been leaking
I know,
through the new part even.
it's where they kind of
The whole
generate,
works.
where it comes together, there's, right?
Well, this goes right down the hallway in the new part.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not huge leaks, but I mean, there's stains. I mean,
Yep.
some kid didn't go up there and pee. I mean, that's just,
No, there's definitely a
Jake, those are in the
problem,
printer.
yep.
I think they're the Gopher ones.
which is really surprising.
Okay.
'cause that
I
is-
just thought I'd give them to you when I was making copies. I saw those in there.
Anyway,
Well, again, it's all food for thought that we just can't wait until April. We gotta
No.
start working on it in January.
I guess before we go to the community and say, hey, if we wanna have a public meeting, we better have some,
Something,
I mean, some.
Know what we're doing.
Some talking points.
Yep.
You know, you just can't have people, what do you think? Well, you're gonna get everything from
and then
fish to nuts.
what's that
You know?
roof gonna cost me?
Well,
Or what's that boiler gonna cost?
Yeah, yeah.
Ashley
That's what you
had
gotta know.
Something in here.
Or what's it gonna cost to put the overhead door in that building in each room?
Yeah.
You know, if that's what you're talking about, doing them things, you're gonna have to say, okay, is this gonna be a
think it was-
$20,000 deal or a $50,000 remodel
It was just from
per room?
that they want us to
You
pay
know.
the lawyer's fee or the transfer fee or
No,
something.
but she had something from a guy from MSU or someone that wanted to come out and, it's in this month's, isn't it?
Yeah, he had,
It'd be the same thing, you know, you'd have to blacktop that whole area. The playground,
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're saying now. I
the
remember
east side,
seeing
the
that
west
now.
side, the whole works, cause it's gonna be cars all over.
I think I'm losing it.
Yeah,
So you'd be talking
yeah,
$60,000-$70,000 right
yeah,
there,
yeah.
easy.
Oh, and Ashley has a couple things here too that we can still talk to under miscellaneous. She got this, check with some drawings on
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I see that.
it. Where do we go with that?
As long as we're alone, where is this? Who is this person?
Right down there,
that's cool.
third house south of him.
Gary Fay's old house. The
Yep.
other Gary Fay.
Oh, really? Huh.
But the
It's
attorney
not-
meet, you know, there's a police report and whatever, they just
the
think it's
kid.
the problem child or whatever, not the homeowner necessarily.
No,
Yeah,
it's not
no.
him. It's.
It's the kid.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, do you turn it over to the sheriff and say,
There's
She
already
did.
been a
Already done?
report,
visit him?
yeah.
Yeah.
They had to do an ICR for it or whatever.
The
Then,
lawyer said he could send a cease and desist, but he didn't think it would be necessary. I mean, kinda, the way I read it, it isn't really paying, you know?
Yeah.
and then this one. What do we do?
Well, and Bob Myers' letter in there basically says that,
Let her run.
Oh,
Like, oh well.
you know, he's like, they're not gonna do nothing until they go out of business. Well, we've been saying for a year, we have to decide if we're just gonna pay the county our half back. Cause I don't see us getting it.
And then you gotta figure in $22,000 for everyone in this town, which is about $100 per water meter now. To eat that debt, to zero that out, cause that's hanging out there.
Yep.
So there's 22 grand right there that, you know, well, we'll have to pay it off, you know? I got thinking about this. How come we never send something to the cosigner?
I thought we did.
We
To the what?
sent, we sent certified letters to both
Yeah.
of them, all three.
Did they ever
They didn't
answer?
respond to
Uh-uh.
anybody. The attorney sent letters to them and to him certified. And then every month she sends certified and regular mail of that invoice. And that's where you got the, oh, I thought it was an auto pay.
Creative.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they
no, it's
got-
just she's a money pit.
So we
And I
just,
don't know if there's anything to even lean against because Smith and Region 9 have got it all leaned up so much.
We're too far in line.
I wouldn't think the pumps and control are leaned against, but, you know, I think Kenny said that would be a conflict of interest if we
Oh yeah.
suggested they sell that. It's like helping put them out of business.
Yeah.
Although that tank's gotta come out of the ground in 2022, doesn't it?
it's coming up.
I thought it was 2022.
I
you
think
know
you're
what?
right.
The super fund will pay for that, and it won't cost them nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super fund will come in and clean that up, and you and I and everybody else that buys gas, there's, every so often they put 2 cents a gallon on it for the super fund. And then when it runs low, they put 2 cents a gallon on it again for the super fund, and then they clean up spots like that. And so that'll be cleaned up by everybody that buys gas.
Yeah.
I mean, we can ask Kennedy what to do, but we said it before, it doesn't pay to throw lawyers' money after it.
No, well, they more or less told us already, you're
Yeah.
just
We either just gotta decide
throwing
to
money away.
pay it off and walk away.
Yeah.
But it doesn't sound like they really, the county wants to be paid by us either, does it?
No, but they did say that we'll have to pay them our half.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
won't pay themselves their half back,
Yeah.
but we'll have to pay our half
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
of whatever it was. 38 grand, so it's like 19 now or something.
Mhm.
They say it's the same thing that happened with the car wash, the only thing is the car wash is still pumping water.
True.
I mean, it costs us $20,000, the city,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but it's pumping water.
yeah, no, it is.
I mean, I hate to say that, but I mean, at least it's still there
Well,
pumping
it's
water.
still here, it's
This thing is
still-
not gonna turn into
It's
anything.
still contributing.
Yeah,
But I mean, this thing isn't turning anything, isn't gonna.
No.
I can't believe it's still there.
It'll
I
be-
can't either.
It'll be full of antiques
Oh,
Well,
and not to sell.
yeah,
Just a store.
but I don't know. What can you do now? What can you do? I don't know.
Well,
That's why I
what-
hate to push it too hard in a way, because as long as it is a store, at least it's not an antique
exactly.
storage place.
Yep.
So, with that in mind, would you ever create an ordinance that there can be no outside, like an antique corn planter, antique this, antique that, bigger pieces of farm equipment sitting outside? Should a guy ever start something like that? So that whole lot can't get littered with
I never thought about that.
bigger antiques? Cause
Because people like yard art now, they'll put a pickup in a truck, or a tractor in the yard, and it's yard art night, you know. But I know what you're saying down there, you don't wanna fill 70 pieces of farm equipment sitting out
Right.
there.
well, I mean, it could be anything. It could be an old churn.
Yeah.
It could be anything that's nostalgic
Yeah.
old. Would you ever start it, that can't be done?
Would Marine's corn crib in front there count for that?
I don't know, but that's tasteful, it's kinda unique, but yeah.
Would you wanna,
But yeah, they could put a chain link fence around it and put whatever they want in it, right?
Yeah.
as long as that fence is 15
What?
foot high.
We'd have to ask
You
the
gotta
lawyer
get a
what we can
permit
do.
For a fence.
Yeah.
So is there anything you could do there to not issue that?
Ask the attorney.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we have to ask Kennedy what we can write as an
You can't
ordinance.
single out, you can't, single out certain,
Yeah, but I mean, that's, yeah,
Behaviors,
you
yeah,
just,
people, yeah.
Yeah, we found that out when, the loan thing, I don't know.
yeah, I don't know too.
We all have problems.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, we can't do anything about it right now, Kennedy did say, we spent money having him send certified letters, and they didn't respond to them at all. They
Yeah.
didn't-
no, they said, forget that.
Yeah, like, screw you.
I'm
Yep.
afraid that you're right, I don't know.
No,
How can you be in business and not answer a certified letter?
Well, you
Don't
don't
know.
pick them up, that's
you
what
don't
they
pick
do.
them up.
And then they say they didn't get the regular mail going,
Yeah.
Well, that's right there. Oh,
No, you're,
okay.
I mean, you're just dealing, it ain't,
They're not even worth wasting.
It was,
energy.
it was a learning lesson for us. We knew we shouldn't do it, but we thought we'd do it for the community. We even said that. Had Blue Earth County done their due diligence, we wouldn't be in this situation because, and now we know that now we have to play banker when someone comes to be a part of an EDA, that we're gonna run your credit, and we're gonna check your taxes, and we're gonna do all those
Yeah.
things, and we're probably still gonna screw it up.
Yep.
Just
You know,
a
at
little
least-
less, hopefully.
At least we're gonna try.
yep.
Well, anyway, that was a few things that I wanted to bring up. So, do we march on in any of them? What do we do?
I think they're gonna have to march on in something.
And again, that's 790,000, and I mean,
They had that in some kind of fund, cause we were making like $1,500 a year, and then at 2 years, it stopped.
You're right, because I remember
They were supposed to
thinking,
re-enroll that in something and it never happened. And so now it's been a
I
year.
don't know what a bank would pay you. Would a bank pay 2% on that money?
Maybe in a CD,
Yeah.
maybe. I don't think they're that high, but.
They're still in the 1 point something, last night.
Yeah,
That's been quite a while ago, I heard, but that's something to ask your buddy.
I did, and
What
that's
a
the one I said.
what a CD would be,
Oh, I said, are you interested in investing, you know?
cause I'd go around to like Vernon and Amboy and Mankato, when we had the gambling, and I'd check out CDs that way. And then I'd go back to Vernon and I'd say, Mankato can do it a point higher than you, and they'd say, okay, we'll do it. That ain't the way money's going now, though.
And you also have
You
to
know.
step them all so that they're not,
Right.
they have to be.
Because if we wanna use that money,
Right.
and maybe now is the wrong time to be doing anything with it, if we wanna take $500,000 of it out and do something down there, or you know, economic development thing.
yeah,
So maybe it'll just have to sit there for 6 more months until we figure this out.
Why don't we think about having a public meeting at the school?
yep. I
At the
agree.
school. And talk about the potential down there.
Yeah.
Just throw it out there, just say, people, we have this opportunity, or, you don't even call it an opportunity, but we could end up owning this. Here are some thoughts, some ideas that have been expressed to us. There's been a lot of favorable expression for a community center, that's positive, you know. But, or, you know, we can walk away from this building and
Let it
we
turn
talked,
around.
we talked about the old propane lot there, you know. We could possibly put something there to entice business in. What would be wrong with putting 6 or 2-3 houses there?
Where the feral gas used to be?
Right behind your house.
It's industrial there.
I was gonna say, we'd have
Between
to,
a meat locker and Winter, you probably wouldn't get a couple of houses there.
Yeah.
You might only get one if you.
well,
get
I'm
it.
worried about like ground
Yeah.
contamination, maybe, I don't know, but,
Or the other locations, you know, for
If the
houses.
school went away, we said we didn't want it and the school tore it down,
there's
you put
places for
6
houses.
houses over
You
there,
could put
right?
6 of them in there.
If we could end up with it, if they tear it down, that doesn't mean we get that land, does it? The school,
Yeah.
they could
No.
sell the
And
land.
Yeah.
somebody else would come in and put them in.
Maybe,
The land is worth, I mean, you got water and sewer right there.
Yeah.
The most you're gonna have to do is put a street in.
And the lot straight south of it's been woods since I've lived here. Would be ideal for 2 or 3 houses going down the hill. Beautiful,
yeah, it would be.
you know?
Yeah, you could actually put on both sides,
Yeah.
probably it's deep enough.
And that'll have to be
You'll never get it.
acquired,
No.
right?
No,
Yeah, with Mary, Peters.
You'll never get it.
Eminent domain, you just take it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, they won't give, you won't, for that kind of thing, they won't, the government won't get you to take it anyway.
Right.
No.
I mean, somehow we gotta get started.
But on which project?
Well, I think that's what we're asking.
Yeah.
Either that, or you don't, or we decide, like soon, what we're gonna do, because that's what's been holding us up for a year.
Well, the
Can you
schools-
ask somebody at the school if we wanted to hold an informational meeting in the gym on one of our regular council meeting nights, or no, probably not.
probably a different
A special
one.
meeting
Yeah, yeah.
to
Yeah.
kinda like show the building and give us your thoughts.
You
Yeah.
should be able to, because like Rev was able to use it, so we should be able
Yeah.
to use it.
I would think so, I can ask.
Find out, I think myself, we should do it in the middle of January, I think.
I do
from-
too.
Right now, a month from right now we should be working on that.
I gotta sit
And
with
you'll
my-
get either a yes or a no,
I think so.
cause otherwise, we're gonna sit here next month and, well,
So what should we do next?
And we can go over and see Scott's facility over there and see what he's doing and what he's charging for rent and how that's working out, you know?
Oh, I don't want that.
Well, I'm hearing Pemberton isn't going like it used to.
Oh, really?
And they got a post office that's throwing money in there.
Let's do 7.
So.
Well, they're
it's
having a
just-
lot of trouble all the way
40.
around over in Pemberton now, so.
Well, but I mean, it's
It
just,
probably trickles down to,
You're a young resident, Jake.
Mm-hmm.
You have 2 young children.
Yep.
Just, what are your thoughts?
Entertained when you guys sent out, would have been.
A couple years ago.
Yeah, little cards that we could fill out and send back here.
Yeah.
And I think one of the options was a community center. I thought that was a fantastic idea. I mean, like Pemberton, they have Ducks Unlimited banquets over there. You guys right now have Minnesota Pheasants using the old skating rink building. They would probably throw a banquet or 2 in there a couple times a year. Ducks Unlimited, I'm sure, would be
Not a bad idea.
something to entertain. You know, that is a big gym with a big kitchen facility.
It's a beautiful kitchen.
You could
I
have
think.
wedding receptions in there.
and last year we had that holiday thing, we had 30 vendors
Yeah.
and there was awesome, you know.
Yeah, but then, like you guys were talking about, that's a lot to maintain. You know, this is, we're talking about all the roses that become of certain things like that, but then there's a lot of behind the scene
The
costs.
thorns.
But if if the old park could be rented out for $5,600 a month, perhaps. I mean, it's all just speculation. and
It would,
everybody has
at
to
least it
understand.
would pay for the utilities.
Yeah.
The water and the sewer, or the power and the gas. You know, if you could at least make your expenses on it,
Yeah.
you know, and then a little besides. It isn't at least taking out of the city, you know? But again, I think we have more younger families in Good Thunder now than we did 15 years ago. You know?
I agree.
I think if you look around from house to house, or just north of me there, the Bruns boy. You
Dylan,
know, I don't know if they're planning on having kids, but, there's just some younger families in town. Well, your brother's in town.
yeah.
Oh, you got Mitch, and you got Ryan Bergman. They're all younger. They all have kids. So, I don't know what to say. All we can do is maybe see if we can have a meeting in January and get it on the internet, get it everywhere and say, come on down. This is your future. Give us your thoughts. This is the town's future. Give us your thoughts. That's all you can do, Kane.
Because honestly, in order to build out there 12 houses, like in Lee's, in Conley's area there, that's gonna take a lot of money. Somebody's gonna come up with a lot of money to make that fly.
Well, would it be like this over here though, Tom?
Yeah, but,
We
I
would
see
have
what
to
you
put
mean.
the infrastructure, right?
yeah,
But with the Build Back Better, is there that money available for new additions in a small town?
We have to find out.
I don't know, cause they haven't, when you read the paperwork, you don't know how much of it's gonna fiddle down, and there's a lot of fat in that big pile of money.
I mean, I don't know if there is for that kind of, I know there is for water towers and all those kinds of things. There's streets, underground sewers, but when the project is to speculate and sell houses, speculating here, I don't know if they will or not.
When you think, when we were talking about doing North Halliday at one time, or South Halliday, it was gonna cost $500,000 to do a few blocks of streets, right?
Yeah,
So you do, it's $1 million to do streets, water, sewer, and power and stuff,
at least,
you know.
it's an immense amount of money.
You can talk to dirt merchants, they can tell you what it costs to do however big it is, they can tell you. That's what they do every day.
I mean,
We were gonna do one in St. Clair, but that was like 80 houses, but that was a 1.5 million, but it's kind of a horseshoe road, but 80 houses were. That was several years ago.
yeah. Well, I don't know. Sure a lot easier to talk about shit like this when you don't have that on.
Yep.
Big
Because
house.
everybody is gonna send that all over everywhere, that don't give a hoot about nothing, they care less about good thunder.
Yep.
Well, anyway, yeah, we've covered a lot of things tonight. And I think one of the best things is let's, your idea, get him down that gym.
Well, sooner or later, you gotta talk to them. I mean,
And the
you know,
people are, the nayers are gonna come and say nope, and the yesers are gonna come and say yep. And
We'll have to see what we think is best, but we gotta
That's
hear
right.
what they say.
That's
You know?
right.
I mean, like I say, it's their money, you know?
Yeah.
Or it was somebody's money at one
Yeah.
time. I mean, not necessarily the ones that live there
it
now.
all
but-
that was created by creating a budget, but always sticking within our means, and we've saved money every year on the budget, I believe.
Well, I could talk
Except
to,
for
I
this
could tell
sewer.
you a couple people that don't agree with you, but.
Except for the sewer thing. But again, it's already paid for,
Right.
and we have money in the bank.
Yeah.
Right.
But I
The
say, you
numbers
gotta,
just don't look right.
that's where you gotta have the answers for them. When they ask you the question, you gotta have that answer to, this is, you know,
Yep.
and this is what maybe that's where a guy's gonna have to find out maybe what the roof's gonna cost you.
We have all that
What a
paperwork,
new-
don't we?
Well, they gave us numbers.
Really
Yeah.
inflated
What,
numbers.
you know, what a boiler and stuff would cost for the gym.
You had once said that possibly, Akata Roofing or whatever, Schwippers could.
Swickers, I mean, they can do it, I got guys that those like a satellite.
That's what I mean.
cost.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Have
And
them, maybe you can just do that.
Yeah. Old, 1950s portion, that roof is only like 9 years old, he told us when we were up there.
Yeah.
The other one's about 20 years old, because it's.
So it's 20, yeah,
20, yeah.
It
21.
was built in 1995, right? 95 or 6?
Yeah,
What,
it was
the
25,
new building?
26.
Yeah.
In 20.
Was it
No.
1999?
95
Or
or
not
6?
20,
95.
yeah, the end of the 90s, like 98,
Yeah,
yeah,
end of the 90s, yeah.
yeah.
Where's the picture of the thing?
Where's the picture of the bell tower?
I
When we
don't
moved that?
remember.
I believe that's a 94 or 5.
I feel like we just moved here. We
Well,
moved
are you-
here. I feel like I just moved here and it was 95.
Yeah, I believe it's something like that, so.
But yeah, they don't even have to measure, they even have a satellite, and they can tell you how many pedestals they've gotta go over, and how many parapet walls and all that, so they can give you a number on it. But it's still might be
even-
$250,000.
I mean, at least it'd be a budget number.
Right.
It doesn't have to be a quote.
Right.
It's just
Yeah.
a budget number, you know, that we're looking for here, you know? I mean, the rest of it, you could probably, you guys build all the time, you could probably put that together as far as, you know,
Yeah.
going in there and walling it up and individual overhead doors and unit heaters and power and gas and, you know. I mean, a budget number,
Yeah.
not
Ballpark.
crazy.
You gotta have a number, what you think
Yeah.
that's gonna cost.
Yeah, yeah,
What's nice about it is each room has water.
yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
That's very nice too.
Yeah, they water in a dump sink, they might not be on a toilet, but you've got the bathrooms in the hallway, and if you
Yeah.
wall off that section, those are
Yeah.
for that there.
yeah.
At least you have water in that room, but yeah, you'd have to go out and do it down the hallway, go to the bathroom, but hey, that wouldn't be that bad.
Well, like I say, there's sewer all the way down both ways. I mean, there's sinks in every room,
Yeah.
you know, so I don't know how big a pipe's down there. If you could, hell, a 3-inch plastic, take anything you're gonna throw to it,
Right.
you know?
Well,
Or there
anyway,
again too, I mean, a 4-inch pipe would,
it's 10:30.
It is. I
It's the
gotta,
longest meeting we've had in probably 2 years, isn't it?
Yeah, so,
Well, good to the end of the year.
do we have to get them to the firemen then now, these checks here, or how does
They
that
gonna
get?
take them?
He's gonna take them.
You gonna take them, Jake?
Yeah, I'll be down there tomorrow night. so
Oh, okay, all right.
I can take them down.
Is the city council's in that packet?
no. Not
you
yet.
know, you're ain't over with.
We always get paid, that's Christmas money.
I know. I think she said she's come, I messaged her and asked her if they were here too, and she said no. She freaked out and said she was gonna come in tomorrow
You
and
didn't see
print
your
them.
name in there, did you? With any zeros?
I know, trust me, any other year I would be freaking out, but now that I have a big girl job, I'm not as worried about money. I get paid more than $14 an hour. So,
All right, well, is that it? Somebody wanna make a motion to adjourn? Or we can keep going.
come on, Ron.
I'm a
You
nice
wanna go
guy.
I can sleep till noon tomorrow.
I gotta get up, so
Gone at 6.
Make the motion.
I'll second
Someone
it.
to say your own favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
I think I'm out of here on the one anyway.
4 hours, that's what I.
Guys, I picked up something for Jake and his family.
Oh, okay.
You know, everything was kind of closed, so we couldn't, your services were closed, so.
Yeah, they,
Oh, right on her desk. They were right in a pile. So we just wanted to know we were all thinking about
I
you.
appreciate that, I really
And
do.
that's something for you and your family to decide what you want to do with it. We got a little something in there for you,
Okay.
so.
Very much.
Yes.
I'll bring it over to mom and dad's.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Mariano made it. He's not very good at showing money. Kinda like my electrician and my
Jeez, my hips just cracked like a 90. Oh. Oh. I'll tell you.
Why you're out here?
Don't back up, because I'm behind your car.
Yes. I'll. Then you guys can. That was for.
See you guys.
Bye.
See you, Jake.
That was from all. This is the baby. So Robert and I talked about how if we sent them flowers, they would just. So we did $100 gift card for drummers, so they can be used towards a tree or something like that. The city did
Oh,
that.
okay, all right.
But as far as like, I'll go buy gift cards for the restaurant for the employees, like I usually do for Christmas.
Employees.
Huh?
Oh, that's what I was gonna bring up. How about, Winters and Nelson? We've got, every year we've given them some.
Oh, yeah. We usually do that.
That was at the cafe too, I think.
So we could do
Jay for
that.
mowing all that shit down there, and then Nelson for up there. I mean, and I know she brings flowers up. to
I
the
know
place
she
and
does. We always do
everything, too.
something for her. Oh, I almost left
So
this
I hope it
on.
don't turn into, we gave them
Check.
some, 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 turn into, we gave them